It took 2 in the nose, then dropped into the atmosphere.
Who was first contact?
405th out of Diego Garcia. But don't expect a big welcome. Covenant wiped most of them out before they hit the ground.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 23 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon.
It's your call, Sarge.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
Covenant ground forces own this city. We'll need to deal with them before we can kill that cruiser.
Pile out! Go, go, go!
How you doing, Blackstar?
Hanging in there. How you doing, Narc?
All right, pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain.
I can, but who'd listen?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find that out right now, I guess.
Welcome back, everybody. We're not dead yet.
Not yet.
Close, but not quite. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're pulling stuff out of the nostalgia bag.
Yeah. So to start, Narc's way too low. Amber says I'm way too low.
Am I way too loud, Amber? Hi, Amber. Merry Christmas.
See what I can do about that.
Oh, Jail's in. It's good to see you two again. Is it? We should double check
Any
that.
better? Amber, is that any better? No, you're actually, like, Amber's right. My levels look low for some weird reason. Not sure
well,
why.
you sounded fine in my headphones. You sound as good as Wednesday, so.
Okay. How's that? Any better? Hey, Jail.
Testing. We'll have to wait for the stream to catch up.
Yeah, you're coming up to -12, and I'm kind of not. It's -20.
Aren't we shooting for 6? It's funny. I was having level discussions with someone just the other day. Okay. Well,
so
as Narc is playing with levels.
yeah. So last Saturday was Marathon's 30th anniversary. And
Wow.
if we'd managed to do anything related to Marathon, maybe we'd be doing that now, but we're not. We'll play some more Marathon later. That's all I have to say about that.
So to commemorate Marathon's 30th anniversary, we're not going to play that.
Yeah, no, we're not going to play that. But a lot of stuff's been going on. Oh, Jeff Rampancy says, Merry Christmas to both. Thank you, Amber.
Hi, Merry Christmas to you too. Yep, she says we're good, I think.
So a bunch of stuff's been going on in Halo World, though. So we saw that 343 is going to rename itself Halo Studios, and they're switching technology to to Unreal Engine 5.
About damn time. I said years ago, it's like, why don't you?
I think
They came up with the litanies of why nots, and then they're doing it anyway.
I think it kind of makes sense in that, like, Bungie's always had this weird thing, even going back to Marathon and Myth, about they use their own technology and they try to license it out, but they weren't always that great at supporting it. And we've seen what Epic did, literally splitting itself in half into here's a division that makes games with the technology we make, and here's a division that is responsible for licensing and supporting and getting sued and suing the companies who use your technology. And I think if Microsoft is the only one using that engine anymore, and they're keeping these weird. Oh, Decca's in the chat. Hi, Decca.
Decca, he says, welcome back, guys. I've been stuck in my sister's place for a week. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a too long a Christmas.
Being stuck is bad, but being at your sister's place doesn't have to be bad. I mean, I don't know
it
your
depends.
sister,
I hope he's not snowed in. Well, see, my question was, because I didn't know the answer to this, are they licensing their engine to anyone? Is anyone using Tiger or Slipspace
I don't
or
think so.
Blam?
I think if they were, well, first of all, right now, then that would be a case of Bungie, which originated that engine and is using their current version of it on Destiny 2 Games as Service, owned by Sony, would be licensing their engine tech to Microsoft.
Well, I was just wondering,
I
to
don't think
anyone,
it would make sense.
is anyone else out there using their stuff? Because if that's not the case,
so there's not a huge pool of other companies using that engine to go to hire people away who know it.
I don't know.
Bungie's not in the business. I like whatever the legal agreements were from the spin-off about doing Halo games and supporting Halo. I'm sure that's all run out, but whatever was in there is run out by now. So you're not the only source of people who know that technology already is going to be Bungie. And we kept hearing that stuff where 343 didn't want to hire Bungie folks for reasons of whatever.
Because they didn't know Unreal. Jail says he's on the 28th floor in a downtown Chicago hotel. Oh, cool. Send pics.
Yeah. So using Unreal just means that you can hire people and they can have pre-existing experience specifically with your engine, and then they can pick up the things that are specific about your gameplay, your franchise, your IPs, instead of teaching them a whole different tool chain that no matter, it may be very similar in concept to these other engines, but is not that same.
No,
thing.
As with everything, the genius is in the details. And to be honest, because if anybody grew up as a secretary you don't like, you can can them and your company doesn't implode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think having generally I've never been one to reinvent the wheel. I never understood why they had to make every single widget themselves. I mean, it gave a sense of cool and integrity. It gave them job security where it's like, hey, you can't fire me. I'm the only one who knows how this works. And I have a reason. That's why that a lot of people were doing it. But at the same time, it also, your flexibility and your options are incredibly narrowed. You've got one well to go to for anything that you need. And if that well dries up. So as far as them using generally available stuff,
I think it made more sense at the time. I think the idea of really big, easily licensable game engines that would do anything, like you can make almost any kind of game. Like people use Unreal for not just third-person shooters; they use it for 2D platformers.
It's very flexible.
And there's also Unity, and there's also Game Maker. I think the idea was, we want the game to be made our way. Like specifically, if you look at Halo, like Halo's approach to graphics, where it's like, we're not going for high frame rate. We're not going for high frame size. We're going for texture passes and shaders. Yeah. Like that was a different approach than most other devs were going for at the time.
Their focus was specific. And
it results
like Deca says, it's about control. Yeah. It's about control. That's what Deca says. He also says he's pet sitting. The cat has been regularly interrupting his sleep and waking him up early. They do that. I've house sit and cat sit multiple times, and they can. We demand cat sits.
Yes,
Doug had cat sitting options.
So content wise, I think it was somehow connected, or at least at about the same time as this announcement from Halo Studios of their rejiggering, and they also put out some images that were like, here's something that's demonstrative of what we think Halo will kind of eventually look like in the Unreal Engine. It's not a tech demo, it's not a game, it's not a trailer, it's not any of those things. It's it's just like, here's what Halo Unreal will be, sort of. But then there's also a bunch of this content that came out that was released in the Steam Workshop, and as I understand it, this was content that 343 Microsoft gave access to this old Bungie content to people who then put it together in such a way that you could go to the Steam Workshop page for the Master Chief Collection and add this content to your game and play through it. And one of those things is the Halo 2 E3 2003 scripted demo, which
I always knew as Earth City.
Yes,
but
Earth City, because that's the name of Marty's musical track. I think they're calling Digsite this whole project, because if you go and look in the Steam Workshop, there's a bunch of stuff labeled Digsite, and it's including like cut multiplayer levels and a bunch of stuff. I think this is interesting for a number of reasons, one of which being that like all the videos we have of that stuff, even the ones that were released themselves, really low fidelity by today's standards, not just in terms of whatever resolution that demo was being produced at, but the quality of the encoding of videos that were small enough
Oh,
to be
yeah.
shared by people in the pre-YouTube era. Like YouTube is years away from Halo, from E3 2003.
I can make you feel old with one word and one number. Sorensen 3.
Oh yeah. Cinepack.
Cinepack. Oh my god. The old Cinepack AVIs. So yeah, so as far as where this is coming from, a lot of it is incredibly old school. And when we were setting up for this on Wednesday, we were, the video that we played at the opening and a bunch of other elements, including, trailers that I had gotten back in the day.
Yep. And
all of them were incredibly low res.
I cut that off short at the beginning just because we're going to see this sequence a bunch of times today. And so I didn't want to have already done it.
We don't want to have too much entirely. Of it. Yeah, well, yeah. So about this, yeah. Okay. So do we want to dive in?
Do you want to run through this? Yeah.
Well, the question is, do we want to just play the original vid as is for the 9 minutes and talk about it so that people have a reference? Because I'm sure there's a bunch of people that have absolutely zero clue as to what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, yes. We can do that.
Now, our regulars that are joining in, I'm sure will probably remember this. But again, people who, I always hated the YouTube videos that like, excuse me, could you give me some context here as far as what you're referring to? So yeah, so this is basically just before the release of Halo 2, there was a small tech demonstration of what was going to be a level or a section or an opening that actually was completely and totally changed before release.
Yeah.
So this never came to fruition.
Yeah. Halo 2's crunch was terrible. A big part of this crunch was preparing this demo to hype Halo 2. Peter Moore had tattooed the release date for Halo 2 on his shoulder, meaning that Bungie, as hard as they tried, would not be able to get this extended.
Did he get that removed?
I have no idea. Eventually,
I'm curious if he had that removed. I want to know how many other people with Halo tattoos have them removed, because a lot of people have Halo tattoos, and I'm wondering if they're embarrassed now.
I spent a lot of time asking why they didn't deliberately kick this 1 or 2 years down the road, just so that the Xbox 360 would have a Halo title at launch, which it did not. Now, I think the Xbox 360 did fine. I think you could easily argue that from a tech, games, and business perspective, that was the golden era for the Microsoft Xbox, right? Even despite all the hardware problems.
Well, yeah, see, to me, I do not have any good feelings about the 360. I thought it was the weakest console. I didn't like the tiny controller. And the whole thing at the time with the Red Ring of Death scare, as well as...
But your other options are the
D1
original
looking
Xbox,
not as good,
which is full of promise, but was actually very, very limited by the standards of the 360, or the Xbox One and all of its descendants. And I'm like, if I have to pick one of those, if I have to have nostalgia, if I have to settle on a line of games that I would want to play, it's the 360. Like there's some stuff on the original Xbox, but a lot of stuff for me, if I had to play it, is playable on the 360. Like, like Halo, like Morrowind, like a bunch of stuff that I played at the time. And the Xbox One is just not as good on a number of levels. Like if you gave me a choice and say, you're going to be on a desert island with one Xbox console, which is going to be, and you have access to the original game library. No, I would say 360. Anyway.
The thing is, it's just, for me, the original, not only for what it was, but it was bulletproof. In fact, I had actually saved up and bought 2 of them for fear of being in a position where I could not actually use it, or it died, or it did.
Your camera's doing the things.
Yeah, my camera, it's doing a reset thing every time I wave my hands around. I would love to, but I got to go through the gestures.
Why a tattoo?
People tattooed all kinds of crazy things back in the day.
Because
there were huge fandoms.
Well, I think I'll tell you why. When Microsoft came out and put a hard drive by default in the original Xbox console, people understood that to mean the death of quality control for console games. Because they say, look, the thing that keeps Nintendo games good on cartridges is that you can't fix them. So they have to be perfect. They have to be poured on it. It's just going to be bug fix frenzy forever. And that argument's kind of right. I would say the whole industry has kind of dealt with it, but massive multi-gig 0-day patches are a thing. So I think there were lots of questions about when he tattooed November 9th in a Halo logo on his shoulder
On his
and showed it
arm.
off in a press conference to
And said,
nail
"We're
it down
shipping."
and say
Yeah.
Halo 2 comes out, November 2004, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's written in stone, i.e. his shoulder. But as far as the longevity of the Xbox, now keep in mind, I was also an XBMC guy.
Right. Yep.
And the modding community for the original Xbox was massive. I physically modded mine to actually have a handle on the front of it. So to taking it back and forth to lands, I would never have to worry about dropping it.
No,
People saw it at the LAN and were like, "Oh my God, what is that?" It's like, dude, I put a handle on it, and they thought it was spectacular.
I did kill my Xbox though, and I still have one working 360. But my one and only original Xbox died and did not return from Kazakhstan from whence it went.
Mine lasted 10 plus years, and until I ended up tossing those because I'd modded them and put XBMC on them. When I went to high def, they were retired, but they never died on me. Yep. Both of them.
No,
one of them I actually gave to a guy in trade for a plane ticket to go to a LAN. And I don't know what happened to that one, but they literally lasted forever. Neither of them failed. So I could have saved my money and not bought the second one.
Okay. So
but as far as games go, yeah, I mean, I can remember playing those on the Vega Sony flat screen TV, the 27-inch that I had, and it was just perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So I have a lot of great memories on those. The 360 to me was the poorer Destiny 2, original Destiny experience before Destiny 2 came out. And it wasn't until I got the Xbox One, the black one, where Destiny no longer sucked. I totally regret getting the 360 version and staying with that because it was a less of an experience. It looked horrible. It played horrible. I didn't like it. I was not a fan. And it took a long time before we got the Xbox One and transferred everything over.
True.
And suddenly the experience was a good one.
I think though the leap for Destiny to me, like from Xbox One to PC, was bigger than the gap between 360 and Xbox One. At least the launch Xbox One. And we never went past that launch. I mean, they released, Xbox One Series, this, and now they've got a bunch of them. And we never had I've never even used any of those. Anyway.
To be honest, the only real important thing is the Elite controller, which I think is the pinnacle of what they did. And I can plug this into anything and play it. I can plug it into a Mac Mini. I can plug it into a PC. I can plug it into a console. I can, mod it with the Wi-Fi to plug into anything. This is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah. So they nailed this sucker. And this is the only thing I care about.
3 Xbox 360s to the Red Ring. Last one is still working. Has my 2 Legend of Spyro games on it. Yeah. I lost a couple of Xbox 360s to Red Ring. I still have one, which I think is one of the later models where most of that stuff was fixed. So it's like the
gave you mine. What happened to mine?
I think it's still in the closet because the one I have here
is it? I wasn't sure if it was still running.
The Reach one. I think the one that you gave me was an arcade, and I think it's still in Andover in the closet or maybe in the attic or something. I think it also still works. All right, so let's.
I think so too.
Let's run through the whole of this video. Before we go and play it for ourselves.
Strap in, kids. So welcome back to now. This is what 2003 or 4. I forget what year this came out. Either 2002 or 2003.
This is 2003. This is E3 2003.
It took 2 in the nose, then dropped into the atmosphere.
Who was first contact?
405th out of Diego Garcia. But don't expect a big welcome. Covenant wiped most of them out before they hit the ground.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon. It's your call, Sergeant.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
Covenant ground forces own this city. We'll need to deal with them before we can kill that cruiser.
Pile out! Go, go, go!
I'll evac the wounded. Keep me posted, Cortana.
Of course, Sergeant.
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to
Sir,
pause this because you and Jayla said the same thing about extra background music.
Yeah, there's
I'm not
your
playing it.
ambient. Oh, maybe it's me. Oh, wait a minute. My game is running. Maybe it's me.
I think but it's not getting into the stream because.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as it's not in the stream, then maybe it's just me.
It can't be. I mean, I'm not hearing anything, and all the meters are dead.
It's probably my game background stuff. Hold on. So I have the demo loaded in the back. I'm doing this on 2 separate computers, so it's like.
Hi, Zale. Happy holidays. Catch you on the flip side.
Okay, yeah, no, it's me locally.
You good?
Sorry about that.
Okay, no
Yep.
problem. I just want to make sure.
Go ahead.
I'm going to let go.
Perez, A Company? CP's this way.
Must be seeing things. Guess the brass do give a shit.
Come on.
Oh, did the frame rate go to?
Me, Marine.
What the
No
hell?
tags. Hang 2 units, zone A, and he needs an airway.
I'm calling it. It's 1900.
The lieutenant got hit as soon as we dropped in.
Who's in charge now, Corporal?
Sergeant Banks, ma'am. He's pinned down up front. Come on, I'll show you.
No, behind that ST.
Yeah.
3 more, coming left.
I'm running low, man.
Oh, yeah, Parsons!
Yeah?
Is it clear?
You tell me.
Friendly's moving out, covering fire!
That is, of course, a character named after current Bungie CEO Pete Parsons there.
Down low.
When I asked for reinforcements, I didn't think they'd send a Spartan. We gotta take that thing out. Cover me! Tech HQ, this is Sergeant Banks. I've got hostile artillery 200 meters northeast of my position. Breach, smoke, over.
Hostiles right.
Damn it, HQ! Is anybody on this rig?
Sergeant, this is Major Easley. Hang tight, we're inbound. Verify delivery of ordnance on target.
Head on, Major. Target neutralized. Take my weapon. You'll need it.
Dragon clear. Clear out.
Keep using gunner, sir.
We got your back.
Wait, I missed those jackals.
That's the way, yeah! Sit down, you scum!
Are you memorizing the route, Blackstar?
Oh, I remember not only that, but also the discerning difference between the two versions of this because there were two separate presentations and two separate recordings that all have slight variations. In fact, you're going to see a ghost flip over somebody here in a second, which is only in this one.
You wanna let me drive? Slower. That's fun.
Yeah, right there. That was only in this version.
Come on, who's for more?
A phantom!
Hang on.
Brutes! Look out! Ghosts, to your right. Wait for it. Nice! The Marines won't stand a chance if those phantoms double back. See if you can draw them off. Chief,
Hang on.
bingo. There's the cruiser. Now, all we need to do is... Bet you can't stick it.
You're on.
Bet you can't stick it, Master Chief.
Okay. So,
Oh, the memories.
yes.
Well, that was literally jaw-dropping at the time because it
Oh, yeah.
showcased, I want to say 30 plus new and different things nobody had ever seen. Because keep in mind, we've been playing Halo for like 2 years. We've been to a billion lands. It had been dissected and tweaked and played with and done all kinds of different things. In fact, to be honest, a lot of the stuff that I did actually didn't even come out until like April 2004. 2002. Yeah. So I was very, very late to the Halo game. Narc was there November 2001, like everybody else. So even the stuff that we got into and whatnot, I actually came in very, very late. But this showed things like dual wielding, the
Vehicle
battle
boarding,
rifle,
the
the explodable environments, explodable vehicles, the introduction of the brutes, boarding vehicles, what else?
The new
I mean,
drop
this-
ships.
oh,
the new drop.
oh, the new drop
ships
ships,
because
the
it
new-
was all the spirit ones in the first
Yeah.
game.
the new Covenant troop carriers with the guns on top. All kinds of showcasing new things nobody'd ever seen before, and we're absolutely jaw-struck that they packed all of this into this.
Dark and gritty tone. No grunt humor. Like, notice there are grunts here, but there's no
dialogue. Yeah, no grunt dialogue.
Humor dialogue here. A lot of blood. JLo's pointing out a lot of blood.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! There's so much blood. The phalanx, when you saw all the jackals get together and come in a phalanx and walk toward you in unison,
which
that crapped a lot of people's pants.
I think that doesn't actually happen in any of the games either, nor would it make sense for
that's
it
the thing.
Really.
A lot of these showcased here never came into it. Oh, third person. The first time we saw third person with the gun.
Oh yeah, for the gun.
Where you get on the turret.
No, you get it. There's third person in Halo 1 when you sit in the Covenant
but not with
guns.
only with a vehicle. Only with a vehicle. There's no third person weapon positions. There's no, there was no stationary turrets that you could jump on like that.
The turret as a fixed vehicle is kind of like that, but it's just there were no human.
The only thing was the Warthog
in Halo 1.
Yeah, the Warthog is the only turret that you could jump in. Oh, also, and the railgun, on the Warthog, that was brand new.
Yes.
So there was so much in this thing that just absolutely people like going, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever.
When you add in the other one, the theatrical teaser trailer that actually had a whole different lighting model for Halo 2 that basically got scrapped because the Xbox One couldn't do it, which is kind of why everything looks kind of dark and muddy while the lighting in Halo 2 is so consistently messed up. Okay. So
now,
what's out now on Steam? Do you want to run through it first, or do you want me to do it?
I don't know. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna fire mine up again because I shut it off because I was playing it in the background and streaming to you and I forgot that's where the music was coming from, so I got to turn it on again.
Okay, so I'll jump over here. Yeah, so this is now a piece of content that you can get in the workshop tab of Steam for Master Chief Collection. And then when you launch the game, it'll ask you like, hey, do you want to launch the game normally, or do you want to launch it in a mode where anti-cheat protection is off and achievements are turned off so that you can play modded content? Because this is basically, these are all released as mods. So this one, and again, that's where you get the Digsite. And I always find it, I kind of find it ironic, because I think what they mean by Digsite is that like they're performing archaeology on Halo itself. But that's also kind of what's supposedly going on in this part of the Halo story as well, that the Covenant are here to dig something up. It's just that that entire part of the plot was pushed forward into Halo 3 because Halo 2 ends early. So like what happens in Halo 2 is that like the Covenant show up and they take over one city in Africa, and then they like immediately leave to go to another Halo, and we follow them. And we were supposed to come back to Earth to finish the story, aka finish the fight, and then we don't. We just go to Delta Halo instead. So I'm not gonna add any skulls or anything for this to start. I'm just gonna run it on.
You're not gonna go crazy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy. I do think, because it is a short thing to do, we should be able to go back and play it with skulls on, because you can put the acrophobia skull on and fly around the environment and see stuff. But I'll just play it normally, and there'll be a bit of a video lead in on this, which is what people at E3 would have seen after they spent hours in line waiting to go into the little theater where they would see this real-time demo, which was being played by a Bungie employee in real time. Although, as we'll see in this thing, it's heavily scripted in that they have to stick to a route.
Oh, totally.
And there are certain things that happen whether they succeed at their button presses or not. Yes, you're going to lose save progress, yes. Flashlight during mission to display navigation waypoints.
Okay, so you're going to do the quick start, or?
Did you?
I didn't turn them on, or because there was a button configuration that was obviously different. I mean, it didn't even have inverted. Yeah. So when I was playing this the other day, nothing was configured right. But yeah, supposedly there's a button that you can open or turn on, and it gives you waypoints. I didn't see it. There was no HUD whatsoever as far as my playthrough Wednesday was. So
Stow it, son! These folks didn't wait in line to hear your lips flippity-flap. Knuckle up and get ready to dance, you pasty bastard! What you good people are about to see is an operation in progress. This is a real-time feed. No smoke and mirrors pre-recorded bullshit. Elements of the Covenant fleet have made landfall and occupied one of our cities. We'll link up with our forces in theater,
Almost read the text
engage
there.
the enemy, and boot their sorry behinds back into the stratosphere. Yo, demo biatch! You got anything? Didn't think so.
why is there a light on his face? I never understood that.
And he and that was designed to be a chat back and forth, with whatever employee was
Yes.
running the demo.
Was
I think a lot of
demoing, yes.
it was Staten or somebody else.
Oh, now notice this. This you see in Destiny. This is not what ended up in the real game.
It took two in the nose, then dropped into the atmosphere.
No, Newman Boss is not an arcology as far as we can
405th
tell.
out of Diego Garcia.
Nope. Now also the music. You said
Don't
before that it
expect
was
a big
darker and
welcome.
grittier, but this
Coming
is
like
very
most of them
light
out
and
before they
friendly,
hit the
like
ground.
The
Halo
opening
was.
of this is very light. In fact, this is really atypical of almost any level opening in any Bungie game.
Immediate. Grid Kilo
Especially
2-3
a
is
war
hot.
game.
Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon.
But I think it's a nice contrast. Like,
It's your call,
things
Sergeant.
are going bad in this theater as a
We're
whole,
going in.
but things are going okay for them
It's
right now,
tactical,
which
Marines.
leaves room for it to go bad.
Covenant ground forces own
Short.
this city. We'll need to deal
And
with them before we can kill that
noteworthy.
cruiser.
This is a Pelican that does not crash.
Yeah, one of the few. Yeah, listen to this harp. This is almost idyllic.
Yeah.
Pastoral. Oh, you can see.
You can almost see
there's
Marty
that thing that
playing this in
Halo
the
always
basement.
does, where before it does a crossfade, things have to stop moving. So that Pelican had to freeze solid in the sky before the engine
Yeah.
do the
Go, go,
crossfade
go.
next scene.
Oh, after a brute kill, I remember the other demo playback is the brute actually faded out of existence once you beat the snot out of him,
Which is why all the fades to white.
which drive me crazy. I hate those white fades.
Company? CP's this way.
Oh, no crazy junksy. Yeah, so you can tell this is live because there's no debris flying through the air.
Come on, come on, come on. Stay with me, Marine.
Doesn't get any easier.
No tags. Hang 2 units, Oneg, and he needs an airway.
Really, I'm pretty sure he is dead. Oh no, he just blinked. Oh my
Oh,
god.
no, he blinked.
Zombie. All right.
I'm calling it.
But
It's
we
1900.
finally, after 20
Lieutenant got
years,
hit
can
as soon
play
as we
this.
dropped in.
Who's in charge now, Corporal?
Sergeant Banks, ma'am. He's pinned down up front. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay, now can you turn on your light?
I'm trying. I usually have that on the
see?
D-pad, and it's not working for me. And then I tried pushing in
see,
the
I don't think
stick,
it is.
which did a melee, which means I think I just killed this serviceman here.
No, I think you barely feel it.
Yeah.
But
now-
okay, now do we want to showcase?
Yeah, we're going to show this off. So you can't see this in the video, because in the video what happens is that the player heads right for that lit stair and turns right and goes up.
To the right.
But if you turn left,
Dun, dun, dun!
it says
Never
Rex
before seen.
on the wall
The
in
Rex.
bullets.
Now, has anybody showed this before?
Just
Ever?
like, now there's a Rex room in Halo 2. It's in outskirts. And you can,
And there's
you know,
a
by
Meg
jumping
on
up
the bridge
roof.
of the Autumn.
Yeah, and there's a Meg in Halo 1 in a room where basically you'll go there if you suicide against the Marines and they kill you, you'll see that on the ceiling of that room as they kill you.
Yeah, but when Narc and I honestly don't remember, because again, 20 years ago, this literally came out in 2003. We're in, soon to be 2025. So yeah, it just absolutely blew my mind when that came out, when I was driving a Warthog, because Narc and I were goofing around when we were doing our demo. And suddenly this showed up on the wall. It's like, I don't remember seeing this in any video or any demo or any recording of somebody doing it. So I honestly don't know if this was a community thing back in the day or if anybody knew. or if anybody's done any videos or any Bungie showcasings at any point. I really don't remember.
According to this, toggle flashlight is up, but it's not doing anything for me in the game.
It's not working. So yeah,
it's not.
So you may not have a flashlight here.
Yep, possibly not.
No, behind that ST. Yeah. 3 more coming left. I'm running low, man.
I love how the echo works.
Yep. I also do find it interesting that this whole thing, like they were doing a massive crunch, and when they came back from E3, that was when the final crunch started, where they had to say, well, it turns out we hadn't really made a very fun game. We made a very engaging demo, but it wasn't a good game, and we had to rip up a bunch of stuff. And that's why everything that's in this demo, if it's in the game, is like ripped up and put apart and put somewhere else.
They kept the dual wielding, unfortunately.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff didn't make it, and I would say a lot of it is that, like, because they wanted to be an action game, there isn't, like, Marines will chatter to each other, but it's never anything useful. The Master Chief doesn't give orders or suggestions to other troopers, and nothing they say is really relevant. It's all just like action movie one-liners are things that NPCs say.
Deca says try X. He says that was an alt option.
No, X Online doesn't do anything.
Nothing?
No.
Yeah. It's possible it doesn't exist.
But you notice this kind of a concrete, useful exchange of information that's relative to combat, where somebody's pointing out a target and one's responding. Like, we don't get much of that in Halo. Most of it is, I mean, they do remark on stuff like over there, you know, but that was something very concrete.
Yeah, they'll yak about stuff. But again, it's all based on focus and what you're looking at the time. And in heavy combat, I think they avoided a lot of doing that. And it is immersive when you take it at a predictable pace, but when you start doing random stuff they either can't predict or your timing is not the same as what they expect, it doesn't match.
Yeah, and the Chief's not involved in it. Like, even in parts where the game tells you, like in the beginning of, Metropolis, right? Sergeant says to the troopers there, follow the Master Chief. He'll know what to do. But Master Chief never communicates that to anybody because they literally did not want a tactics or strategic part of gameplay. They wanted it to be an action movie. So everybody kind of follows your example, but not your instructions, because there's no way to give instructions. And, you know.
In fact, even later, just getting people in vehicles was added later, right? Oh, X to operate turret. Yeah, so you can operate this turret up here if you wanted to.
Yes, there's literally nothing to shoot at. There's nobody down there.
Oh, they've killed everything. There's nothing to shoot at. They're just firing bullets for no reason.
Parsons! Yeah? Is it clear? You tell me. Friendly's moving out.
Chris
Covering
Barrett
fire.
just sued. I guess not. Wait.
Now, it's funny because in the other one, if you were close enough, the whole thing shot, but it didn't do that this time. So you got to get these guys as they're flanking. Oops, see, you missed a ghost to the right. Now they're going to kill all those other people. And then you got to turn left and look at the giant gun. Did we find out
whether or not you could die in this? Did we die at all?
There was only slight fall damage, or a screen turned red for a second when you fell from a really great height, but no, I did not die in any of the long falls to lower parts of this map.
And look how static a lot of these guys, like, he's not even moving anymore.
No, they only go to a certain point.
Like, whatever scripting he had was consumed already by...
Yeah, see, now, if you let them come up, they will come up and stand there on the edge.
When I asked for reinforcements,
now you're supposed to look at the gun.
Send a Spartan. We gotta take that thing out. Cover me! TAC HQ, this is Sergeant Banks. I've got hostile artillery 200 meters northeast of my position. Bring smoke, over!
This is another thing we can't do, is drop smoke. People actually talked about this. Like, hey, why don't we have smoke grenades? Never got them.
Damn it, HQ! Is anybody on this break?
Sergeant, this is Major Easley. Hang tight, we're inbound.
Now, this one, of course, the things are fixed. We never got a chance to get removable ones like later like we did.
Verify delivery of ordnance on target.
Dead on, Major. Target neutralized. Take my weapon. You'll need it.
Dual
these are
wielding.
terrible.
Everybody lost their shit with this. They said, "Oh my god, dual wielding's the greatest." But then when they
never
found
liked
out,
it. I think it's
I never did.
better without it.
Totally, because the whole idea is weapons and grenades, and when you take away the grenade and the whole reloading aspect of it, it kills the flow. It totally kills the flow, and they were never able to make it fun enough where it justified it. And from a damage perspective, they tried doing it where you actually had dual wielding weapons, and it ended up breaking everything. They had to scale back like each of the weapons to like 25% of their normal singular damage. There was a whole balancing issue of them trying to get it right. Oh, there was another thing. Also, throwing the grenade dazed the grunts.
Yes,
and that was another thing that
I thought
people
that was a
didn't
behavior I
get.
was seeing because they were like spinning around and not shooting, but they weren't dead.
Right, they were dazed, and the whole idea of stun grenades was also a thing people talked about. It's like, hey,
were they
why don't they have
planning on having
flashbangs?
Flashbangs, yeah.
Either they talked about it or they discussed at a certain range. Maybe you might get that. And again, when the people do the flanking thing, you throw the grenade, but they don't explode. So yeah, this is the first rail gun, and people also lost their shit. And they were like, oh my god, what is that?
It is.
Oh, it is very cool. I just never thought that the reticles and the aiming devices were set up in a way that's conducive of you getting precise hits on targets. And I never liked that. Same thing with the tank. The tank never allowed you to make precision hits with things. It was always way too random. Both the machine gun on top of it as well as the main cannon. And that didn't make any sense to me, considering that tanks are supposed to be so precise that you can hit things miles away.
I see him.
And something so close, like, you know, literally 60 feet, yeah, you can't get a precision hit on it.
I'm also pretty sure that some of these vehicles just explode if you keep missing them.
That's two. Come on, who's for more?
And this was also the first introduction to the brutes. We were like, what the hell's a brute?
Yeah, I wonder if we were better off never learning that. I don't know.
Well, see, Bungie said that the brute introduction was way too late, and I agree, because what would have been cool is if they either hinted, showcased, or cutscened them at the end or near the end of Halo 1 after the ring was lost, to showcase that there is a new big baddie species out there. You know what I mean? Is they totally could have done something in an epilogue, they could have done something in a wrap-up trailer, something, but they never did. So when we first saw the brutes, we're like, oh my god, it's Planet of the Apes. What the heck is this?
Ghost, to your right. Wait for it.
Yeah, see, so that board happens on cue whether I miss it or not.
Oh yeah, they make you do it. You are boarding this ghost. I don't care how you want to play it.
And this Phantom is still firing, but it's kind of frozen in space.
Yep, yep. And all the other ghosts attacking you, they have this like streaming sweep pattern. They never target you directly. They just kind of spray shots in your general direction. It's hysterical.
And we just end by going down here and trigger the cutscene.
Yep. Yeah, see, it's in this sweeping pattern. It just kind of sprays like it's watering a lawn. It's hysterical. Onk. I always thought that hit was weird.
Chief.
Hang on.
Boy, those sparks look so guilty. So brutes be dumb. Got
There's
it.
the cruiser.
I think they couldn't see
all
because
we
of the
need to
smoke.
do
That's what we're
is-
supposed to get out of that.
No excuse. I never quite understood the concept of this with no parachutes or the capacity to land as opposed to crash. It's like, imagine being in a car accident when you want to deploy. Such potential.
Yeah. What we got for voice credits in there? Yeah, we got Staten as Grunt, placeholder, and Marty as Jackals.
Yeah. Yeah, Staten did the grunts. He did all the dialogue and everything too. Deca says, yeah, it looked like the Phantom Gunner wanted to drop the billboard in front of the chief. Instead it took the Phantom down. Yeah, it was one of those anticipatory things that the sign fell just too slow and hit his buddy. But yeah, if you were to think about the physics, it's like, okay, this is hovering in the air and then a sign hits it. And that sign was enough to knock this thing out of the sky and flip it over and cause it to explode. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the idea was just, and they didn't do too much with it, was just the idea of destructible environmental elements. You know, because they had those little, I guess they kind of function as cover, but I guess they're supposed to be a digital signage or something.
Little barriers or computers or electrical components or something.
Whatever those are.
And they're always chest high, of course. The chest high explodable technical devices. And then, of course, the cars. People had endless fun blowing up the cars.
Yeah, blowing up cars is fun. But it's not as extensive as.
Oh, and the yellow warthog. There was the yellow warthog sign.
Yellow warthog.
That was a running gag forever. Somebody in the Halo community and whatnot said that there was like a yellow warthog, and they photoshopped one in at some point. And then Bungie ran with it and actually put it up on a billboard in this demo. So that was another thing that they showcased that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Now, I think what happens when you finish this is that it reloads in the... Oh, John Tomato's in the chat. Hey, John.
Hey, John. What's up?
I think it restarts it in the kind of non or semi-scripted playground mode, sort of, because those Marines just ran away. They didn't wait for me to trigger anything, and now there's vehicles to drive.
Woot!
Warthogs, ghosts. No banshees, as far as I could tell.
I don't. Were they a glint in somebody's eye? I mean,
drivable banshees were already in Halo 1.
No, but I mean in this. I mean in the carryover.
I don't think so. I don't think banshees ever appear in this.
Because they were showcasing all the new stuff. I don't think they made sure that there were all the old ones too.
Okay, yeah, and the gun emplacement here is already destroyed. So I think this is not that. This is not a new instance. I think we're just dropped into the old instance with everything that's already happened. So
correct.
Yeah.
It's just everybody is exactly where they were. Now, when we hit the warthog on people, it was great. They were actually still in the kneeling positions when you hit the bodies.
Right,
oh yeah, everybody behaves as normal. Yeah, they will jump in the sides if they're, free to do so.
Okay, now I can get the vehicle headlines on the Rex sign there.
It makes me wonder. It's like, are there any other things on this? Because that, totally random and obvious. Oh, and you want to showcase the gunner?
Oh yeah, the thing with the gunner.
The gunner's doing.
Let's see,
because it never did this in Halo that I remember.
Yes. So every time you push forward or back slightly on the Warthog's throttle, the Marine back there overreacts. He's just pelvic thrusting under the gun.
Let's do the time warp again. Oh yeah. I found this out Wednesday when we were testing audio and video. Yep, there's the yellow warthog. There's the yellow warthog sign. And all of a sudden, this gunner, for some reason, was doing these absolutely disgusting rhythmic pelvic thrusts while driving. And and we could not for the life of us figure out how and or why this was a thing. Because as far as I can tell, this was never in the original Halo. I don't think it ended up in Halo 2. So between those two...
I think they react, but in fact, actually, it would be unfair of us. We should not be confident that this is the way it was in this demo. This may be an artifact of how this content has been reassembled inside the current engine.
This
may be something that's created.
Right, but we need Bungie old school to come out and say, hey, during this demo when you were setting this up, was this a thing? Was this a problem? Did it exist? And I'm terribly curious if that's the case. Because again, we don't know how much if anything has changed from the old one to the new one. I mean, was this just a reconstruction? Was this an update? Did they just drop this into, you know, the current state, or did they literally have to recreate all this from scratch?
I believe this is archived content that's just reassembled in the
ported
MCC version of the Halo 2 engine.
I don't know. But man, can you imagine back in the day what people would have done with the vid creations with footage like that?
Yes,
it would have been endless.
To me, some of the best things about this is being able to get the high quality footage of what's going on here, even if it's not 100% accurate to what it did or would have looked like at the time.
If anybody back in the day had gotten their hands on this and was able to run this on a home computer and whatnot, they would have been absolute gods. They would have been able to dissect anything and everything at this. Everybody in the community would have jumped up and had them, you know, crawl over every nanometer of this to figure out all the intimate details that they could possibly gather. In fact, we were joking because I had actually gotten to a couple of different sections in the game that were unattainable. You know, there was absolutely no way to get there or to do anything with them. From the video standpoint, they never covered any of it. But you can freely go anywhere. And you started to think, well, wow, I can see the whole skybox. Wow, I can see all the lightning and the storm coming overhead. Wow, I can see all these different buildings and city perspectives and that are different. And if you were able to have captured those shots and shared them online with the HBO crowd or anyone else, you would have been absolutely untouchable. You would have been a deity back then. So it just makes me feel bad that this wasn't released at some point for the community to dissect, even if it was not representative of what ended up, you know, being released in Halo 2.
Warning, this is a combat zone. Report to the nearest evacuation center. If you are uncertain of the location, please use the nearest info kiosk or ask the nearest soldier for assistance. Let's be careful out there, Mayor Lee. I also want to go back and see if we can't freeze frame some of the footage from the Sergeant's intro, because there's some text on that map that I think was meant to be too small for you to read, but now you can totally read it.
The "Let's be careful out there" reference is from Hill Street Blues for all the old schoolers out there. And for all the newbies that have no idea what that is.
Why not also make
Yeah, it was a popular cop show that ran for 11 years by Stephen Bochco. And it started with a police briefing in the briefing room.
Now, we already went down here, right? And what happens is that the cutscene doesn't trigger, but it lets us out through the tunnel into the cutscene area.
Yes. Yeah, all of this is now traversable. You can go anywhere and do anything. And I pitched myself off of one of the end bridges here to get outside of the map.
Yeah, like there's no barrier.
But I had to do it on foot. I didn't bring the hog. The hog actually fell down, and I couldn't get to it again. But yeah, you can crawl on the signs, and you can jump over the barriers, and
now is the.
Oh, you want to shoot it? See if this one breaks too.
I assume that is scripted. That's not.
Oh,
it's
totally.
not as if. But it would be very likely.
It's a destructible item. Yeah.
Trigger things dynamically with a thing that say, "Hey, have a thing fire a gun, and when this thing is hit, have it destruct." But it looks like that's not the case in this one, or at least my gun doesn't.
Deca says, "Yeah, very much before the Sadie ODST story."
It is interesting that the sign is undamaged, but the gun was destroyed.
Oh yeah,
the AA gun.
And of course the fans are gone, so they're not here anymore.
And I think the drop pods are not here. There is.
Nope. But the little fire is, and we were playing around with the fire because that's still there.
Yeah, I think it doesn't do damage though, right?
Yep. Nope. But we were doing the time warping here in the flames. See, mine was better.
That's true. Well, he's going to the side. I don't know why he's going to the side. It kind of ruins it.
I don't know. Maybe he broke.
All right. Well, let's see.
Mine looked like Flashdance. Yeah. So, do we want to do some exploratory? I mean, what else did you want to cover?
I do have some other stuff to show, but we can do that after a break. But I can add in acrophobia and start this.
You want to do
I
some
think,
skull
in
action?
In the playground mode with the acrophobia skull on.
Now, this is going to be a short break. We're just going to take like 5 minutes.
Like 5 minutes.
Okay, so don't disappear. We're only going to be doing this for another hour or so. But don't nobody go nowhere.
Okay, acrophobia.
Yeah, so that one you can actually fly around and do some cool stuff. So we can showcase the whole city from different perspectives when we come back.
Yeah. Okay. And I think as playground, I think this will be the unscripted version. Not sure.
Cool. Okay, so we want to take our 5-minute break and.
No, we'll take the break and come back with the other stuff. But I want a quick.
Oh, you want to show something real quick?
How does this skull work? I've never done this. I don't know how the skull works.
Don't you have to put it in your hands? Don't you have to weapon swap to it?
I already have the tool.
Is it the heavy? Well, yeah, you always did. You know when. So yeah. So when that guy says, "Here, take my weapon," you already have the weapons. So. But, well, think about it. If you're going to do this demo, you never want to not be without them. Do you know what I mean?
Now I have to Google this. I have to Google how I use this damn skull.
All the more reason to find out on the break.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, just everybody hold on. So yeah, you're watching Rampancy.net's demo of Halo 2's Digsite Earth City level. We'll be taking a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.
Okay. I think I kind of did figure it out. It doesn't work.
I was
going to
ask because you seem pretty high up.
It's kind of like a double jump, and then you hold it, and then you can paw. You can do the crouch, and it freezes you in space. So that's how I'm hovering above you.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you could just fly around freely.
It looks like the playground version does have the gun destroyed, and I kind of wanted to play around with that. So I think I'm gonna start the regular version. And we'll just ignore the stuff.
All the scripted stuff. We're going off grid, man.
I wonder if I can skip the cutscene or not. The opening.
Quick, press your controller. Yeah, it says press flashlight during mission to display navigation waypoints.
I couldn't see that it did anything.
Can you reassign the flashlight? Because to be honest, this is back in the day when there was a black and a white button on the controller, and one of them was the flashlight, and that's not on the Elite controller anymore.
It's not on any controllers anymore. Basically.
Try to remap it. Try to remap it to something. Yeah, those were like back in the Duke days.
Okay, now can I skip that?
It's funny because that style on that looked very much reminiscent of Marathon.
Okay, yeah, I can skip it.
Sweet.
Right, can I skip this?
Can you skip this?
Oh, looks like maybe no.
No.
It took 2 in
See,
the
that's what I
nose
was
and
afraid
dropped
of.
into the atmosphere.
Who was first contact?
2 in the nose.
405th out of Diego Garcia. But don't expect a big welcome. Covenant wiped most of them out before they hit the ground.
Excuse me, I have to go return some videotapes.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon.
I still have his lens.
Your call, Sergeant.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
Covenant ground forces own this city.
I
We'll
feel
need to
so
deal with
tactical.
them before we can kill that cruiser.
Pile out! Go, go, go! I'll evac the wounded. Keep me posted, Cortana.
Of course, Sergeant.
Well, I know what the ladies like. Woohoo, skybox! Yeah, so do we figure out like where all these shots are coming from, or they just
so here we
materialize
can see that
out of
like
space?
some of those are just coming from empty space over there.
Yep. Well, to be honest, you remember Halo, where you had all the hanging weapons in the doorway on the Guilty Spark level, shooting through when people actually were able to speed run, and you could see them. They just spawn in the air, shoot a whole bunch of rounds and whatnot, and then disappear. It's quite hysterical that that's how they did that.
I think I need to follow this long enough for the gun to start firing.
Sir, Corporal Perez, A Company? CP's this way.
Cheese pizza? Is cheese pizza this way?
Brass
All right.
do give a shit.
Come on. Stay with me, Marine.
No tags.
Is
Hang
it
2
CP
units
or
on
is
end,
PP?
and he needs an airway.
Everybody
I'm calling it.
needs
It's 1900.
airways.
The lieutenant got hit as soon as we dropped in.
Who's in charge now, Corporal?
Sergeant Banks, ma'am. He's pinned down up
Nobody
front.
special.
Come on, I'll show you.
See, now I can't not see the Rex. I have to look at that every time I go through that hallway.
3 more coming left. I'm running low, man.
See, I don't even think it's a question of they've killed them all. There's literally nothing there. I mean, there's nobody there for them.
Oh, nothing.
Parsons!
Yeah?
Is it clear?
You tell me.
Friendly's moving out, covering fire!
Oh, and of course, no triple burst. You know, we ended up with a triple
Yes.
burst with the thing.
Okay, it hasn't started firing yet.
Leah's in chat. She says, that doesn't look like cheese pizza we've been had.
Oh, I know. Bait and switch.
Oh, man, there was so much about this game that was bait and switch. I'm still waiting for those orbital guns we can aim and fire. Thanks, Griezmer.
Well, you know who to get it back on like that. It still hasn't started firing yet. It did that one blast that was scripted. It hasn't done anything since then. Oh, he's dead.
Nice.
I guess I waited too long.
See, now he's frozen.
He's frozen.
We're out of sync.
Yeah, I think I broke it.
Nice. So does that mean the airstrike won't actually happen and this gun will stay here and
Probably
just not
not.
fire anymore? Cool.
But I'm not getting the board prompt. What I wanted to see was because what I've been told is that there's a grunt in this thing, and it's what is piloting.
Oh, really?
And you can, if you get to the right position, you can board this, and it will kick him out, so he survives the airstrike. I think I may have broken the script already, though, so I think maybe it's not working.
Oh, that's funny.
Last checkpoint.
Do you want me to try? Well, of course, I don't have skulls on, but
Yeah, because I think you can't. I don't think you can get up there without. Yeah, look, these guys are.
well, I'm
frozen.
just wondering if we were to head straight to it and not trigger the explosion if I can get to it. Yeah, is everybody frozen? I think everything is frozen. Oh man, is it going to restart the whole thing? Wow, that's going to suck if you got to go through that whole bit. All right, well, I'll tell you what. You want me to see if I can do it from mine? You want to switch to my gameplay while that stupid thing loads? Hold on, let me switch over. Okay, now can I turn on skulls from here and it'll work? No, it won't let me do it.
No, you can't. Once you've started, you can't. You can't add skulls mid.
Sir, Corporal Perez, A Company? CP's this
Must
way.
be seeing things. Guess the brass do give a shit.
Oh, they don't. See, I was gonna grab that warthog. Oh yeah,
Yeah, they're not there
There's
in
the
the
Rex.
scripted version.
Oh wait, I got waypoints.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, you're.
I do have
yeah, you're
waypoints.
right. What did you press?
I hit the up on the D-pad, so that is
okay,
the
so that's
default.
working for you.
Okay, but does it stay? All right, I put. No, it doesn't. It's temporary. That's
Yes.
why.
Yes,
it's not working.
I think it was
Okay.
just. I think it was just there in case the person running the demo
Oh, hello.
forgets where they're going.
Where's everybody?
You broke. See, you broke. That's how easy this is to break.
Oh my god! I literally just jumped over a wall. These guys are still here.
The text on the map is, "Hey, Paul. Hasn't your..." Yeah, I'm gonna have to pause and
Sorry,
read
what?
that later. I'm trying to read the text on the map.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't looking at text. I was like, what are you reading?
No, mine's loading up and it's playing through the sergeant demo.
Yeah, the grunts aren't making noises.
Yeah, no, that's just how easy this is to break.
Oh yeah, they're shooting this guy. Yep. Yeah. See, if you don't stop those guys from getting up that ramp,
Then he dies and it won't continue from there. And without him, for him to call for the airstrike doesn't come.
yeah, it's still wanting me to go to that checkpoint. Okay, well, I didn't trigger that checkpoint, so yeah, let's see what I can.
I've also restarted
do.
on my end. I'm gonna try to follow it as closely as I can. I don't want to go too far though, because then that means that they'll come and they'll kill it. So I just want to stop that from happening.
Okay, so the question is, can I trigger this guy and have it do the airstrike? No. Oh, all of these are linear. Once you skip that one thing, it's like everything breaks.
Yeah, I think each one
you
is
can't just
probably
skip.
dependent on the previous one.
Wow, they're
Now,
totally sequential.
I bet you can finish it by if you just like walk to where the end trigger is. I'll bet you that works. But I'll bench a lot of the intermediate stuff probably. Funk says, "Shoot the environment." Hi, Funk.
Oh wow, Funk's up there. Hey, Merry Christmas, Funk. Look at the environment. It explodes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can do that. right, I've
Okay,
restarted
let me pause mine here and I'll go to yours.
I'm letting it run normally for a bit.
Okay.
Must be seeing things.
Guess the brass do
Come
give
on,
a shit.
come on. Stay with me, Marine.
No tags.
Hang 2 units, Oneg, and he needs an airway.
I'm calling it. It's 1900.
The lieutenant got hit as soon as we dropped in.
Who's in charge now, Corporal?
Sergeant Banks, ma'am. He's pinned down up front. Come on, I'll show you.
Yeah, now I've tried.
Oh, show Funk the Rex. He hasn't seen the Rex yet, I don't think.
Show the Rex.
Funk, watch this. Dun,
Like the,
dun,
like
dun.
the Rex room. This is the Rex room before the Rex room moved to outskirts.
No, behind that ST. Yeah. 3 more coming left. I'm running low, man.
I'm running low, man.
You tell me.
Tell me.
Friendly's moving out, covering fire.
Oh, and the obvious one, the battle rifle. We'd never seen a battle rifle before, so the battle rifle was also the first big demo in this. And you know, there's no assault rifle in this either.
No.
Nobody seems to be using it. Everyone's got battle rifles.
I'll tell you where there's an assault rifle.
Is there one here you can pick
Not
up?
here, no.
Ah.
That grenade should kill you.
Oh, I should have killed both those guys. What are you kidding me? Oh, did you kill
Now-
Sergeant Banks again?
No, okay, so it is firing now. So I should be able to come over here.
And shoot this grunt?
No, I think I can kick him out just by boarding.
Oh,
Like,
can you
like,
melee
like
him?
yeah, something.
It would be like your reload button. May have to get it from one of the holes in the top. I think you can get it from the other side. Yeah, keep going up. No, more in the middle.
Where are you, you little grunt?
Maybe he doesn't fall out and spawn and kill you? Do that? It's weird. 'Cause I don't see any.
From what? No, you won't see. But from what I've seen, what happens is that if you get this guy out, he just dumps out on the highway and he uses a plasma pistol to fire into the sky at the same place he's firing now. Because
Really?
that's what he's because that's what he's scripted to do.
Weird. Well, I don't see him anywhere. Yeah, Funk says, yeah, Ferrex is at least consistent. This is so wild. I have this memorized. I haven't played this since I heard it was on Steam. Yeah, this is our first run through ourselves. We did a demo Wednesday to see how well it would go, and this is the first time really goofing with it. But Funk, can you tell me if that Rex had ever been discovered before? Because I don't remember anybody ever mentioning that one. I could be wrong, but again, this is like 20-something years ago. I'm gonna laugh if you like explode this whole thing and kill yourself. I love how it's not resting on anything.
It's not standing on anything because they didn't
No,
expect you to be able to
suspended in
see
air.
it from this from this angle.
Nope. It's like, why bother? I wonder if there were arguments or discussions about this thing. You can't have that. It doesn't make any sense. It's floating in the air. They'll find out. Yeah, Leah says, yeah, being only on Steam can be a bit of a deterrent. Funk says, I don't think it's ever been mentioned before. Well, how long has this been out?
I was like 2 weeks tops.
Okay, so it is brand new.
Yeah,
We
it's
might be
pretty
the first ones to find the Rex. Oh man.
Yeah, could be.
That makes me happy.
Could be. I don't know.
Quick, check HBO.
But I tell you
check
what.
HBO.
Oh God. But I tell you what.
Quick, call up Claude.
I want to switch. I want to switch gears a little bit. I will go back and I will find
anybody
out
find the Rex?
how to do this because I have something else.
Oh, did somebody have a procedure out there they can get this mythical grunt?
So this is.
Let me guess. He's wearing yellow.
This has only been out for a couple of weeks. This other thing
and no one turned left.
Has only been out since yesterday.
Okay.
And this is not on Steam. It's on the Internet Archive. This was leaked yesterday.
Okay.
So these are two
Am I gonna see it?
builds of Halo 1 called the Spear Test and the E32K.
E3 2K builds.
Yeah. So these are the E3
Okay.
2000 builds of Halo 1. And what we've been looking at is the E3 2003 build of Halo 2, which came out in 2004. Halo 1 came out in fall of 2001.
Okay, but the first big demo of this though was at Macworld 99 though, wasn't it? So this is slightly after.
Yes, so this is after that. But
Okay.
you're going to recognize a lot of these assets. Now, as far as I can tell, I think the older version of this is this one, which is called Spear Test. What I find interesting looking at these is that even though these are Windows executables, and I think these have likely been assembled the same way the other Digsite stuff has, which is that like they're repackaging. Like, I don't think this is a Windows executable from 2000 that I'm running on Windows 10 unmodified. Like, somebody's done something to this to make this work. But the folder
did they
structure,
put the Scorpion tank in it?
yes. But the folder structure in here looks like Myth. Local plugins.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And tags. And then inside tags, there's 3 files: large install, medium install, and small install. The same way the Myth CD installer allowed you to put either more or less stuff from the disk onto your PC, depending on how much hard drive space you had. So that it would either load quickly off the hard drive or it would load slowly off of your disk.
Or it would completely wipe it.
Yeah. Well, no, that only happened when you uninstalled it. But either way, so if I load this up, and I think
Do we know exactly whose fault that was?
Oh, you mean which individual employee? No, I don't think so.
Yes. See, I wonder if that ever been released.
So this allows me to choose between 3 maps. It's really hard to read. It's called Spasm, St. Marcus, and Swamp. And to choose a player name. There's also, I haven't tried this yet, there's a radio button for edit map.
What does it say? Man, horse, what?
Don't know. It's whatever was typed into default there. So now I put my name in, launch in, and take a look at this.
No way! Wow! And he put in the Scorpion, he put in the new Master Chief, but the original is still here.
Yeah. So this is the this is before it became a first person game. So we're in third person.
Yeah, this is third person. Wow. And it's between the RTS and when we went first.
Now I don't know why, but maybe I just don't have the right bindings, and I don't think there's any UI for changing the bindings. But I can't.
Oh, you may have to edit a text file.
I can't make the tanks move.
Is it WASD or is it the arrow keys? They may have put arrow keys.
That works on Warthogs, but arrow keys and letter keys don't do anything here.
What about the numpad?
No.
I
don't know if there's something. I haven't found anything yet.
It may be an alt thing. Maybe you have to press an alt key to do it.
There's also not collision on a lot of things. You know,
of course. I'd be surprised if there would be.
That's
funny. Wow, it can play both things. Cool. But notice the reticle. The reticle has that zoomed feature where, you know, it's larger, closer up, and then it has, you know, distance rings.
And I also have
woof, what a difference.
I also have a bunch of different weapons here, and one of them, I believe, has a built-in...
Wow, I remember that Master Chief model during, oh God, you remember when they were talking about the NVIDIA G2 GTS? They talk about cubic environment mapping. You remember that video?
Yeah, so I've got...
That's the same Master Chief model.
I think a lot of the weapons don't have sound effects here.
Oh no.
I got the chain gun.
Oh yeah, that's the mini. It's the minigun.
Banker.
Oh, and notice the upper left-hand corner where you actually see the weapon models and stuff. What does that remind you of?
And the composite sword.
Yep. We actually have swords. Yeah, we never had a human version of the sword. Amber's like, hello, Spanker. And the Spanker was definitely, you know, bigger and bulkier than the one that we got, the 2-barrel one. It was much more reminiscent of, you know, actual anti-aircraft weapons like Stingers. So is this the special thing that you were going to show?
Well, this is one of them. So
what? Oh, Jesus, more? God.
Yeah, and this also, I think, answers a question that I've had about Halo since the first videos we saw, including the Macworld 99 demo. Do you remember
about the skybox?
Do you remember? No. Do you remember? Because in that video, where again you come out from the underground and you wave at an elite and they chase you, and then it ends with, you know, standing on top of a mountain waving a Bungie flag.
I remember that.
And there's also the other video, which is the other build where you get in a Banshee and you fly away. But as the Banshee is flying away, there were these circular objects, very small, very blurry, moving around in the scene. We were trying to figure out what they are. They're bugs. You can see them in this build.
Oh yeah, you can see the insects flying.
Yeah,
around.
they're insects.
But the res was so low, you could never tell.
Yes, and we always wondered, like, what was that? Like, was that a was that a camera being used? Was that an object? But nope, it's a bug.
I love the what looks like Unreal Tournament's breathing mechanic of the Spartan going back and forth.
Yep, see, there's
that's
a bug.
hysterical.
There he is.
But
so now
it's funny because now look in the upper right hand corner there's a map along with iconography,
a mini map, and a very complicated thing. I'm running this.
Oh, very high res.
If you try to run it higher res than that, then it kind of bugs out on me. I couldn't get it to run at 1440.
Oh no, this is worlds better anyways. I mean, this is perfectly fine. But it's just all the iconography on the weapons on the left though.
So there's the sniper.
Yep. Oh yeah, that looks terrible, but yeah, that's awesome. And oh yeah, now is this the SMG? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And that's got audio.
Yep.
And what about the plasma rifle? What does that sound like?
That's the shotgun, which is labeled as a Waste M90.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, the good old Waste M.
This is Spanker. And it's got a reload animation where you put the rockets in the front. Is that?
Yeah. Now, what about the plasma rifle? That's the pistol.
Yeah, the pistol, which
there's
doesn't
no sound of the
have
pistol.
any audio.
That's the minigun.
This is called the ASW Needler.
Really? They calling this the Needler?
The text. Yeah,
this is the triple barrel mini.
That's the text in the top left of the screen, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Funk is there is a flag. Yeah, no, look at this one. Now, which is this one? This is the one I was talking about.
There are two Spankers. This is a Spanker
That's what I thought.
106 SAM. So I'm
so,
maybe
yeah,
this is the one that's supposed to
missile.
have auto lock, you know, like for
this is the one that looks like a Stinger that's supposed to be anti-aircraft and stuff. Notice the lens flare as it shoots. You know, we always thought that was cool. We never had that in the other one. It didn't do lens flaring.
Also, strangely enough, it seems I do not have any other ammo for this. There's no reload. There's no reload animation. I just have one rocket and it's gone, and that's it.
And that's it.
This is the
sword.
Pattern 2 composite sword.
Deca says, "Yeah, a prototype Spartan almost makes me think Master Chief was going to be."
It's slimmer, perhaps. I always kind of have a weird affection for this player model instead of the Spartan armor we got.
Well, this is definitely more reminiscent of the security officer. Do you know what I mean? This is very marathon-esque.
And look what this is.
And oh, the flamethrower. This is the flamethrower. One of your all-time faves. Wow, Halo used to be cool, man. Look at that. Oh, man, look at the gas effects. Look at the range on that thing. Holy crap. That is cool. Now, careful, you're going to run out.
According
It
to this,
has
I
a
have a
weird
whole other
whooshing
can.
noise.
According to this, I have a whole other can. See what happens.
Really? Oh, time 2. Yep, and it just switches over to the other one.
Yes.
Yep.
But
and
I
it has
could
an animation.
But I was actually allowed to keep firing it even while the reload animation was playing.
Wow,
okay,
Halo used to be cool, man. The AR.
And the assault rifle.
Yep. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Oh,
plasma
there's no
rifle,
audio.
And it doesn't have audio.
No. But it is the same design. Now, there's no reticle for the sniper, so how do you snipe in third person?
I think maybe that's what that weird reticle idea was for, the one with the, decreasing
the distance?
circles.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that's
the
for.
concentric distance rings, yeah. Yeah, Amber says it's a TAWS 21, not a TAWS R.
It seems like I think they haven't answered that question here, because when I select the sniper, there's no reticle at all. There's also no
none.
sound.
Well, that's just it. I'm
and,
like, how would you snipe this way? I just don't know how that works. Funk says, yeah, I like that they had a flamethrower designed for reloads. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want extra
Okay, there we go.
canisters?
There you go. There's the reticle for the sniper. But it also gave me no more rounds for it, so I can't even fire it.
Desmond's in the chat. Yo, it's Blarkagen and Nackstar. Now, can you get the vehicles drivable? Because I remember in the demo of this, they showcased the
I couldn't get the tanks
ghost
to drive, but I don't know what else is
What
on
about
this
the
map.
ghost?
Now there's another map. I don't think there are any
should
ghosts
be
on
ghosts.
this map. No, not on this one. This is older.
Or says it's pronounced toaster. I know. Why do you think I still call IBM IBM?
Or id Software, ID Software.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, ID Software. Aldi Software.
And what's the footfall sound? It's like this thump 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 with this little like tinny noise. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
Now, have you found the elites yet? Because there's supposed to be like several elites in this.
That's a different map. That's the other map.
Oh, okay.
So
There's a
I'll
different
show
one.
you. I'll show you that.
Oh, maybe the ghost is also there too. And this is awesome. Now, when did this become available?
Yesterday. Somebody leaked
No
this
shit.
yesterday.
So nobody has this yet. Oh my god, this is awesome.
Yep. And I think here you can also kind of see where the map technology here is really coming out of Myth. Like this.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like
this is
these
all
are-
Myth mods.
Yeah, these are maps made the way Myth maps are made.
Yeah, Funk says, yeah, wasn't there a ghost in the next one? Yes, apparently there was. Because I do remember them piloting them around and shooting and stuff. Oh, man. We complained about texture pop before. Man, this thing is rendering as you're walking.
Yeah, I think the draw distance is really dialed down here.
Oh, it's super
Like,
short.
This
It's
to me
super
always
short.
looks
You can tell.
like this is the bridge outside of Crow's Bridge in the myth level,
Yep.
and there's the this is the bridge, Flawless Cowboy Bridge in the
Yeah.
in level 2 of Halo 1.
Yeah, they recycle their own stuff all the time.
Blew up the tank. Tank just went poof. Got hit by one thing.
That's friggin' awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if you could actually fire those rockets at the thing, what would happen?
All right, well, when
Yeah,
you
you
want
wanna
to
load up another
quit,
one?
it asks you if you want to retreat from Chucky's love.
God, Bungie were weird.
Yeah, okay. Let's reload that.
So
And then-
how many of them are there? You said there's 3,
okay,
right?
So there's 3 level, even just in this one. That one says man horse. I think it says man horse seaman, and seaman is spelled wrong.
That's
I'm
what
not
I
really
thought, and I didn't want to say that on air, but you go ahead.
Well, I mean, man horse Seamon, Cemon.
Yes,
think
but I
is
had a
what's written
feeling
there.
that's what it was. I still was not going to say it. Funk says that's hilarious.
So
Oh,
this
this-
level
yeah, this is
has
the winter
a
one.
warthog. It's the snow level. There seems to be very little in this one, but you can also see like how detailed the warthog is even now, and how close
Oh, and how
to its
close!
final form.
How close it is, yeah. Now I have to say I do kind of like this gun design, minus the shield, but
Now, one drawback here
other one's
that
more
I have
practical.
noticed is that,
oh, this has an antenna. Remember the antenna?
yeah, the warthog, yeah, which always made it look like an RC car.
Yeah, well, come on. They were always RC cars. They felt like RC cars.
Like
and Funk wants to know, does it feel swimmy?
It feels very swimmy. It is very easy to flip this warthog over, and as far as I can tell, there's no
way to write
prompt
it?
to
Okay,
write it.
so
like once you
drive
flip
safe.
the warthog, you're done. Yep, there we go.
Oh no, here we go. He's gonna do it. He's gonna. Oh jeez.
No, there we go.
Oh,
Saved it.
Yay!
You can
go,
save
Narc.
it, but there's no prompt to be like, press this button to flip it back over. Oh,
Oh
God.
jeez, we're off the map. I love how you can literally see the pattern in the snow as a grid.
Yeah, because it's just a myth level.
Oh, I know, but it's just so repetitive in such a short distance. Now, what is
Okay,
that
so
sound
now I
supposed to
think
be?
we're
Oh
full-
no, he lost it.
Okay,
Oh,
so as
shit.
far as I can tell, no key I've been able to press. I can get out of this, but there's no
But there's no way to
button
write
that
it.
flips it. As far as I can
Aw,
tell, there's
man.
like it'll allow me to get back in.
Wait, the
I
bugs!
Can even
There's-
get in the passenger seat.
There are bugs here in the winter level.
Yep.
They're apparently still
Yep.
flying around. See right there.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Are there grenades? We didn't see any grenades.
I don't think so. I have not seen any grenades.
Oh, wow. This is even before grenades.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Amber's casualty. Oh, man. Yeah, I wonder if this employee was let go when because they were probably all males back then, so. Yeah, Funk says rocket jump. Try the rocket jump.
And when you load this
wow,
last
with
one,
343
Swamp,
Guilty Spark.
You're the chief model, and you've got these things. I don't know what these are. I don't know what the orbs behind the character are or are supposed to represent.
Redacted says try hitting control.
Control is crouch.
Interesting. Okay. Wow, look at this
Basis
backpack for the chief. And it's funny because this is a different model design
Yeah,
of
and
Master
it,
Chief.
and it looks like also that there's some kind of logo or graphic on the both the shoulders and the back. I don't know
It's
if
the USMC, right?
Is it the USMC?
I don't know. It might be. It's so hard to tell with the stream version you're giving me. So
Oh, here, let me.
it probably looks higher res in person and on the stream.
Let me see if I bump that up for you. You may be getting. You're getting
The
you're
bit
getting
rate is
720.
really low.
Here, give you a little bit more. See if that
I'm
works.
thinking is. I mean, it looks like there's a sword, and
Also, because
looks
we're
like
running
the
at
Shriners.
1080, like the resolution here is much higher, so all the text items and UI elements are really small, like much smaller than they would have been.
yeah. Desmond says try F4. Here it's the grenade button.
F4.
Yeah, don't do Alt F4.
F4 came out of it, and
Yep.
now
So-
yeah, I didn't like that.
Probably not. Oh, I can always reload it. Well, at least you didn't restart your computer.
Yeah, all right, so let's take a look at the other one, which I think you're also going to recognize.
That was just for you, Desmond. There he is. I knew there was an elite in here.
Yeah, so this is the
Oh, man.
E32K build.
Wow.
And-
Yes, I do remember this.
And now
intimately.
we're in first person. I think if I don't touch anything for a while, I think it will go into third person, so you can see the model there. But I'm more like the ordinary Master Chief in this one, and you can see over there in the
Oh,
distance.
no, you should have a sniper in this. Can you? Because in the video, you actually sniped people. Yeah, Desmond, I was just kidding, but I wanted Narc to try it anyway. I wanted to see what would happen. Okay, now do you have any kind of radical other than the dot? Can you zoom in at all?
It doesn't appear so.
Wow. And you reload after every shot. So it's...
Well, notice I failed to kill that guy with the sniper, and I think the pistol one hit killed him. Oh god. So even here, the pistol is an ungodly weapon of destruction. Better than the
even
sniper.
here, the pistol was totally OP.
Yep.
Oh man.
And so there's
Yeah,
that
Desmond
structure, and
suggests
there's nothing
download
there.
a virus or two while we're at it.
And over there is a warthog and some more Marines. There just
Now, is
not
there
appear
anything
to be any
scripted here?
fall damage, nor does there appear to be any scripting or anything like that.
Okay, so it's just the level as is. There's no scripting or actions.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the original Marine designs.
But notice this is the railgun warthog, or a rocket hog. It's not, it's not a machine gun hog.
No, I remember them blowing up the tank with this. Oh wow, with the displays and shit.
Marcus is the man.
Didn't get that.
It says Marcus
sure he
is
is
the
Marcus.
man.
Oh my god.
Beef is the only way. Don't ever go veggie. Beef sticks. Beef is the only way. Don't ever go veggie. Yeah.
Wow. This is a
engine coolant okay.
HR
reactor core
nightmare.
temp. And all the screens are just the same text too.
Oh yeah, but there's a radar on the top. Are these guys gonna get in or no?
No, as far as I can tell, there doesn't
Okay.
appear to be any AI scripting in this at all. They don't have collision. They don't do anything. Oh, and I've
Now, can you-
borked the hog already.
Oh, borked it already. I wanted you to
Yeah,
try
I
the
know.
gun. Okay, now do you have rockets? Can you knock it over? Wait for you to kill yourself.
I don't think you can.
Oh, it fires like a tank though. That's weird. Yeah, Funk is like Leto. Yeah, that's Marcus Leto.
Yeah, here, let me
These old school groups.
start that over.
That's awesome. Now, can you kill the elite? Oh, he's got shields.
And not only that, he's
He
got a
drops the sword.
sword. He drops the sword.
Can you pick it up?
No. As far as I can
Oh,
tell, you
bummer.
can't interact with anything.
Oh, wait, that's another weapon though. Do you remember the long barreled weapon that they
Well,
had?
there's a needler there, and there's a sword, and there's the plasma
And the plasma rifle. But yeah, no, but there's a long gun. See that triple barrel thing? See?
Yeah.
That's an actual shooty gun. I forget which one that is. Maybe that's a precursor to one of the ones they did for Halo 2. Wow, you should have hyped this up way more than you did. You should have like announced world exclusive first time reveal, blah,
I'm
blah,
pretty
blah.
sure it's
'cause
not.
No
I mean,
one's going to watch this now.
Somebody else has done it by now. I mean, even by the
Quick,
time.
get it on HBO. Well, you said this is what? This is like 2 days old.
There's
So
nobody at
yeah, this is,
HBO. There's nobody there.
I know. That's the joke. We will finally come back to announce, hey, idiots, we got something new.
I'm sure if there's any place where people have seen this before we did, it would have been yesterday at HBO.
I know. I got a better idea. Let's go to destiny.bungie.org and then
found
say,
out
hey,
about
go
it.
to HBO.
From a Facebook chat with other Halo fans in it who are also ex-HBOers.
Yeah, Funk says, yep, no, Blackstar is right. There was a Covenant sniper. So yeah, so it was a Covenant sniper.
Okay.
But yeah, but even this railgun, it fires like a tank gun, a tank cannon.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh man, look at those trees. The driving around sounds weird. Oh, wait. The building in the background.
Yep,
Can you get to it?
Yep.
No shit. I wasn't sure if that was just a backdrop. Don't lose it. Yay! Oh, sweet. There's the tanks. Now, what's the mini one? Because this tank wasn't the other one with the floaty gun. That wasn't showcased until Halo 2.
No, they didn't. No, yes, Halo 2. This is what
Halo
the
2.
Spectre.
Yeah. Is that drivable? It is. Sweet. Wow, Halo used to be cool, man. Oh. I can tell you, how many times did we watch this video over and over again?
And even just the regular Halo tank here also drivable. Not drivable
Yeah,
in
the
Halo
plasma
1,
tank.
but drivable here.
Now, is it shootable? Can you shoot it? Yeah, it's awesome. And what happens if you shoot some of the blue elites? Will they drop their stuff?
I think they'll also die, yeah.
Funk says, yeah, it was called the Shadow in this build. They renamed it to the Spectre.
Yeah, I don't think anything dies here, which is kind of weird because in the other one they did. But the weird thing is, this is the one that was used for the E3 video demo, in which also, like, lots of firing happens, but, like, nothing dies, nothing bleeds. You know, there's none of that in there.
I remember using footage from this video in some of my trailers. I remember recutting and doing all kinds of stuff with this.
See, I can kill them with regular weapons, but I think there's no damage being produced by vehicle.
Yeah, there's no weapon stuff.
Here.
Man, I would have killed to have this playable at a higher res and being able to record anything we wanted. Are you stuck on the nose of it? What happened?
It's first person on the gun. When you go to the gun of the Warthog, it's still first person.
Nice.
So you're trying to look
through the actual display. Oh man, how do you target any of this? This is awesome.
Yeah, and it doesn't do any damage.
Yep, and wow, they all have snipers. Cool.
Yeah.
They must all have like a default equipment pack. Funk says, yeah, what's HBO's Facebook chat? Well, why don't we get on the hotline server?
It's not an HBO Facebook chat. It's a Facebook chat. It's a personal Facebook chat with people who are also old school Halo friends. I'm not calling anybody out. Man. They are not the people who leaked this. They're just the people where I found out about the leak from. I don't know who leaked this.
Is this technically a leak, or was this posted by?
This went straight to the Internet Archive. It did not go onto Steam.
Wow. So we're not supposed to have this.
No, we're not. And I think it's logical to
feel
assume
so
that
dirty.
Like, given the Digsite stuff, it's probably logical to assume that somebody involved in the making of that's how they got access to this. And somebody made a call to not release this, but to release that other stuff. And then somebody decided they would release this anyway.
He said, F you, I'm doing it anyway. You can't control me. Hey, does the door work? Oh, look at the door display.
No, the door does not work. The door does have a cool little animation, but as far as I could tell, no button I could press would make it work. Now, this does have, basically they gave you a flashlight by making a second version of the AR with the flashlight on. And that's what this is.
Cool.
And I can't open the door, and you can actually see some of the Forerunner glyphs there on the left-hand side of the light. But what it is that the door doesn't have any collision, so you just walk straight through it.
Yeah, you just walk through it. Woohoo! I was hoping that was the case. God, I remember using clips in this in my vid, in my trailer.
And here you've got a complete set of Forerunner glyphs, and the problem with the walls is that nothing has collision, so you just walk up to a wall and you get stuck.
Oh, are you stuck?
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Oh, darn it. Oh, Desmond wants to know, do you plan on continuing with Pathways, or did you finish it? No, we have not finished with it. And yes, we do plan on finishing it at some point.
Yes, we do plan on finishing it. We are not returning to a regular schedule as of yet. I think at the very least, we will finish Pathways. But
do you want to mention? Oh, look at the marks on his back. See the logos? The logos on his back? That was also something that didn't quite carry over.
Yeah, he's got glyphs there as well.
Yeah, they had little identifiers on the guys. Yeah, Narc, do you want to mention why our hiatus?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if anybody...
Or were you saving that?
If anybody wants specific... Here, let me go back to the... let me put the cans back on.
Zumpty Dumpty said, yeah, the webmaster is doing some corporate espionage and leaked it.
So last August, a couple things happened. One, I'm really not going to talk about it all. A family member started to experience health problems that made it complicated for us to do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, they needed 24-hour care. It's not me, but I had to assist. Someone needs 24-hour care.
And that's not either one of us, and so we're not really talking about that. However,
it's
about
private family stuff.
About
so.
the same time that happened,
Literally that week.
Yeah, I fell off a ladder at work in the final weekend of the push to reopen a facility at work. And I just kind of
fell down and went boom.
It wasn't that high. It really wasn't that high. Like it was like 5-6 feet. Like we've got much taller ladders at work, and I've been on higher ladders, and other people at work have been on higher ladders, like 3-4 times higher than this. Like anybody working on a lighting grid at either of any of our facilities is higher up than this ladder.
Knows how high that is.
I was literally just going into a suspended ceiling to fish a wire through a wall to power.
So you're talking like 8 foot
camera.
ceiling, and he was 5 or 6 feet in the air.
Yes,
so
that's it. But kind of fell awkwardly, and I swore, and a couple people came running, and I really was on the verge of just kind of getting up and trying to walk it off, and I kind of looked down at my leg, and the end of it looked like it was at a weird angle. And I apologized to my colleagues and said, I think you ought to call somebody. So that was it. The guy I was with there, Colin, called my supervisor. They started to make a claim, started a paperwork trail, called the ambulance. School was on break, and so our normal EMT service, which is actually volunteer students, was not available. So I had to wait a couple of hours for an ambulance. They literally drove me around the block to the GW hospital. Sat in the emergency room there for a little while, was feeling okay, but it was one of those things where it's like, well, maybe it's just a sprain, in which case this is all overblown. And, I could have just gotten up and I'd really be fine. All I needed to do was like go home and rest and ice my ankle. But, I'm here already. Might as well make sure. And the ambulance crew was waiting because basically I'm on their gurney. And they can't leave without the gurney I'm on, and the ER doesn't have a bed to put me in, so they can't get me out of the gurney, and that took a while. But finally, they said, "Okay, fine, we're going to take you for an X-ray." They put a splint on my leg, and a little while after that, they came out and said, "Okay, we're going to start by giving you some morphine," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. What for? What's going on?" And they were like, you've broken your leg in 2 places. You have dual hairline, pilon, intra-articulate fractures of your left ankle. So we're giving you morphine now. You're going to have a reduction. We're going to give you a bed to stay in tonight. And tomorrow morning, you're going to have surgery. So
a lot.
The reduction is fun. That's what. Hey, Wolfon is in the chat. Hi, Wolfon.
Yep.
Wolfon's. Sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah, he says buggy fall damage mechanics.
Yes.
Boy, you have no idea.
Here, let me come on the front of this slide. I feel like I'm lecturing this back's elite about my ankle. So the reduction is the thing that the morphine was for, and that's the part in any movie or TV where they basically say, "Hey, you've broken a bone, and you need to set it. You need to adjust the bone so that it's in a proper position to heal, because if don't, they heal crooked and things don't work." And in the movies, of course, it's always this thing where somebody like grabs you and does a twist, and there's a snap, and the guy goes, "Ah!" and he screams, and it's over. That actually takes 15 or 20 minutes sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And in my case, like 2 physical therapists literally had to wrestle with my leg, like trying to twist it axially like this from the end, where like they're both like putting their shoulders into it.
It's not like Legos putting that together. Yeah, he borked it up something fierce.
It was not over in a moment. So
Funk jokingly says Narc did a KP.
KP.
Now,
well, yes, KP, but KP hurt himself playing, what was it, baseball or softball or
he was running. Yeah, he was running from base to base, and while he was either running or sliding or heading to the base or whatnot, his knee exploded.
Yeah.
So his was a weight stress fracture on his actual knee while using it. Whereas Narc's was falling from a semi-great height.
Yeah. And part of it was just an awkward fall because literally like in this little room, which is the ticket booth in this auditorium, some people had been doing some practice for flag marching, so there were a bunch of flag poles to my left, and I really didn't want to fall.
He
in that
almost
direction
impaled himself
and take a flagpole in the ear. So like while this ladder is going over one side, I'm trying to lean the other way back, and I think that's partially what made it kind of an awkward fall. So. Well,
morphine goes and comes really quick. I mean, you take morphine and 45 minutes later, it's gone.
Well, I got to admit, I wasn't feeling anything when they gave me the morphine, and I was for the reduction. And I can't say, like, all I can say is that I imagine that would have been much worse without the morphine. So yay, morphine for that case.
Oh, yeah. And now I've had kidney stones and I've had morphine, and I felt great for about 30 minutes, and then afterwards, it's like I didn't even have any.
I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. They were constantly asking me about what your pain level was, and I did calibrate it where I basically said 0 is nothing and 10 is kidney stone. So that was the scale I was using. And so the next morning I had the first of 2 surgeries, and what they did basically is that they put. And if anybody is a sick person who wants to see photos, I don't think I'll put them on here, but like I can put them in the Discord or something for anybody who has this kind of sick fascination.
It was your left leg, right?
But yes, the left leg. So I had to have 3 metal pins put in the leg. Hey Jilly, hey, how you doing? Great show in the 90s in the UK called 999. This sounds like a 999 story, and no one is going to get this reference. I assume it's like Chicago.
Oh yeah, we know 999.
Or do we? I don't know 999.
Oh, 99. Well, it's their 911, and you see it during all the British shows that I watch all the time. So
where's that joke from? Quick, what's the number for 911?
For 911, yeah.
Okay. So
the real number is 912.
So the next morning, I have what they call an external fixation, which is that they take 3 metal pins that are in reality longer than my fingers, and they put it on your leg, kind of halfway up between the ankle and the knee, and then they install 2 metal rods that go out to the sides of the ankle, and they attach that to the foot with another set of pins. And this is so none of these bones move relative to each other. And then I get put in a hospital room. They put me on one of those beds for traction, the kind of thing that I thought only cartoon cats experienced, where they put your leg up on a thing that's hanging from a big thing so that it's elevated, and you had to stay in that for 10 days.
Not fun.
It was not. No, it was not a lot of fun. So various painkillers, for the pain for this. And then
bathrooms suddenly become way more problematic.
I don't even want to know. That may
may
have been the worst thing about
the worst
whole
part
experience.
of it. Yeah, nobody thinks about that until you got to go, and it's like, oh my God, what a production!
Is a combination of things. One of which is the constipation caused by opioids.
Opioids. Yep, seriously. It's like shitting bricks.
Yeah, Funk is like, I had no idea they still do the leg elevation thing. Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Although it is actually weird and inconvenient now, because I was in this old traction bed that actually had like a metal pole, that goes up the side, and then it branches out at the top so that you could either hang chains from one side or the other, depending on which leg you needed, except they don't use those anymore. All they do is that they throw a big elastic band around your leg and they hang it over the middle. So actually, the whole time I'm lying in this bed, I'm actually being slowly yanked from the leg is being yanked from the left side towards the middle, so that your right leg basically falls off the side of the bed. So that's fun.
Okay, I gotta give Funkmon, he won the internet today with this quote from the IT crowd, where he says, "Oh, I've heard they've changed 999 to 0118999 881." 999 119 7253. Yeah, that's an IT crowd joke. Funk wins the internet for today.
I would have thought.
Thank you for that.
I thought it was the Cars for Kids. No. Anyway.
No, for all the IT crowds or IT crowd fans out there, yeah, big fan of the show.
So other thing is that like my experience of bedpans was also kind of from like 1950s cartoons era, where they're these large metal or ceramic coated objects that, like that thick. They're not anymore. They're really shallow and they're plastic, and they put a paper bag. They put a plastic bag in it. So like it is impossible to not make a complete mess trying to use one of these things. And theoretically,
it sounds impossible. I physically could not be able to do it. I'm sorry. You'd have to put me on liquids and give me a catheter.
Theoretically, I was told, and I did do it once, that a nurse could help you up out of the traction and get you even with this big fixation, which was this metal contraption holding the leg together, that you could go into the restroom and use it normally. I did it once. But the other thing is that basically,
how much fun was that?
Not very much. But the nurses were very apprehensive about doing this, so only the physical therapists.
Yeah, if you fall
willing.
down.
So you had to wait for a certain person to be available to help you to do this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And
they
so-
physically need to be able to assist you, and if you have an issue or whatnot, what are they going to do? Pick you up off the floor?
Didn't they give you a pee bottle? Yes. They do give you piss pots that hang off the edge of the bed that you are able to use. So that is fine. It's not that. It's the number twos.
It's
that
a
are
solid
the
waste.
issues.
It's
So
seriously.
then-
I would have gone on liquid diets by then.
Yeah, so then we're coming to the end of the week, and that's when they're hoping to do the second surgery, but they don't like the amount of swelling that's on the foot. And the reason why they're concerned about this is they basically say, look, what we're going to do is that the second surgery is to install an internal fixation to replace the external one, which means a plate and screws inside the joint to hold the pieces of the leg, that the two fractures together.
So, long story short, Narc is now a cyborg, and he is going to have a random spot check on every airline trip he takes.
These are supposedly non-ferrous, which means they're not supposed to set off metal detectors, and they're safe to have MRIs. So they're trying to get the second surgery done, and they basically say, look, we can't do it when the swelling is too much, because what happens then is because they're going to do an incision up the foot, install this hardware, and then close it. And the problem is that if the thing is too swollen when we do this, then there won't be enough skin to close, and you'll need skin graft. So we need to wait. So they did 3 or 4 days. Like, they wanted to do it on Friday, and they ended up doing it on Monday to do the second surgery. And then I was in
when
the
they can't
hospital.
sew you back up, there's a problem.
Yeah. I was in the hospital a couple more days, and then they gave me a walker and a protective boot, and I came home. But I still had to keep the foot elevated. So I was basically supposed to have the foot elevated. And of course, whenever you get down on it, it swells up a lot, turned totally purple, very uncomfortable.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
well, to be honest, I'm surprised that they let you elevate it as long and as high as you did, because they say a lot of times that can end up getting gangrenous. Or, you end up with blood flow problems or clots
there was unfortunately not a lot of proactive delivery of information during this process, where
there never is. You're on your own.
We would
buddy.
ask something we were not told that it was possible to be taken to the lavatory, and we were not told that I could bring the leg down from the traction for a certain amount of time every day.
They never do. They never do.
There were lots of things that if you didn't ask about it, there wasn't anybody who was going to tell you.
Nope.
But that said,
why bother?
That said, we all know that healthcare in the country is a nightmare, and largely for me, this was not, because this was covered by workers' compensation. So, I have not paid a bill associated with this at all. The only bills I've gotten were sent to me by mistake. I had an address to send them, to say, you send that bill over there. Did you have any of the horrible anti-clotting injections? No, I was only given aspirin for that. Basically, for a while in the hospital, and for a little while afterwards, I had blood.
U.S. healthcare at its finest.
Aspirin was the only blood thinner that I had. So didn't have to have anything there. I was getting Dilaudid injections for pain while I was in the hospital. They transitioned me to Oxy for a while, and I was on that. I had that available for a little while I was out, and now I'm just on diclofenac as needed, or ibuprofen, and that's it. And those have been ramping down over the last month, and I've already returned to work with temporary accommodations. So basically, instead of going in every day, I only go in when we have events in a facility, and because we're closed now for break, aren't really a lot of those. And
so taking it slow.
Yeah. So I mean, I won't really be back. I think we have currently only 3 current events scheduled for January. So, and the rest of the time I'm just kind of working remotely, doing meetings over Zoom, answering email, and I'm going into campus.
Light
only,
duty stuff.
Yeah. Only when I want to. And I don't have to, I don't do stairs. I don't do lifts. I don't kneel down. I can't squat. I literally can't currently do any of those things. So yeah.
And neither should you. Funk says he's going through workman's comp nightmare for a bloodborne pathogen exposure. He says it's pretty awful.
Yeah, I
what
don't know.
What flight did that happen on?
Oh, I don't know. That may just be a whole different kettle of wax. I think mine is pretty straightforward. I think simply because like it was a clear trauma suffered while at work, while doing work things. So like there was never any question from anybody.
It's a work ladder during a work assignment in a work building during working hours.
But it was also a very straightforward thing that like is documented and is required surgery. Like there was nothing for anybody ever to question. And I got a boot, I got a walker, I got regular crutches. I also had a knee crutch that I used for about a month. It was kind of neat because I was able to go outside and walk before I was allowed to put weight on the leg. So that the amount of muscle atrophy that you can get over a short amount of time is also, pretty crazy.
It's massive. Yeah, it's through the roof. Oh man. So suffice to say, that's why we haven't been streaming.
Yeah. Like honestly, like it was very uncomfortable even just to be sitting up for long periods of time until the last few weeks, really. And now I'm at the point where it's like, I can walk outside if I have a protective boot with one crutch. I can walk around inside the house with stocking feet and 2 crutches. And I'm now just going to physical therapy to learn to walk again.
Slowly but surely.
So that's it.
Now, the good news is that for most of the gaming stuff, like flying Vipers, we get to game in the seated position. If we were doing VR like Ball, we'd have to be jumping around like idiots, and that would not be conducive to a good time.
Not doing anything.
So we're good we didn't get into VR. So as far as the future goes, Narc, what were your plans and or ideas that you wanted to share? Because I'm sure everyone's all excited, but we basically wanted to come up with a Hi, We're Not Dead stream before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And showcase a couple of the
We're going to finish Fast Waits into Darkness. I do kind of feel that we kind of like whatever the original vision for the channel was, as the idea of let's take a look at some old Bungie games while we wait for new Bungie games, and then we'll throw in some other stuff to kind of mix things up every once in a while, that we largely completed that. And I think there'll need to be a new concept developed for, is there going to be any kind of overarching theme toward what's the content we do? Some of it may just be as simple as, let's look at my GOG and Steam backlog, because I kept buying a bunch of games that looked like they would be cool to play on stream, and then we never did.
Random stuff.
Because there was always
rando games.
There was always Destiny to play, and there was always No Man's Sky to play. Not that anyone complained about playing No Man's Sky. No
Man's fun, but it's endless, like
and then
many other titles designed that way.
2 Divinity games, which obviously also took a long time to play.
And for a lot of the core players, both the fans and us, we have been Bungie oriented for well over a decade.
I don't know that that's going to continue except as a retro thing.
No,
because I'm not that enthused for what's going on at Bungie right now.
No,
I do think an interesting thing is happening right now, which was I was wondering how it could happen that in the short interregnum between Bungie ditching their Activision deal and Bungie getting bought by Sony, that they would somehow expand so aggressively and start so many new projects, including Marathon and a bunch of other unannounced stuff, and then miss their target so badly right after the Sony purchase. And the only thing I could figure out is that, wow, a bunch of people making decisions must have had some pretty neat financial incentives on doing a lot of aggressive stuff. And that's one of the things that's come out now of Chris Barrett, who was fired for inappropriate behavior, is now countersuing Bungie.
Alleged.
That stuff's not true. And that also, even if it was true, it's not that bad, because lots of frat boys at Bungie did a lot of stuff worse a bunch of years ago, which isn't really a good excuse for anything, because it means you can never get better if you're just a coven of frat boys putting your butt cheeks on the glass. I guess you just have to stay that bad. You can't ever fire. You can't ever start firing people for that if you didn't fire all the people who ever did that, which is kind of crappy. But one of the documents that's come out now and related to this was that he missed out on a big payday because his incentive, which was tens of millions of dollars as part of the Sony purchase, was only paid
Yeah,
partially up front and was partially being paid over time. And since he was fired for cause, he missed out on that.
Yeah, it was like 45 million he could have gotten, and he only ended up with like 2 or 3 or 4 or something. So yeah,
Funk, you're half right.
He wants
it's not a
the
defense,
monies.
but the other half is wrong, which is that Chris is not right.
So yeah. So again, suffice to say, in a nutshell, Bungie be fucked.
We have seen multiple people depart from Bungie, not of their own free will, basically claiming that they didn't actually do any of the reasons they were fired for. It's just that somebody wanted to keep them from getting a payday. Jill's like, I've missed all this stuff. Yeah, it's not that. You
didn't miss much.
It's not that much fun.
And in fact,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, Narc and I were talking about this, and it literally started thinking back. Remember the heydays when playing video games was fun? Remember when you could fire up the Atari 2600 and not have to worry about geopolitical strife, social economic politics, or corporate mentality and malfeasance? Remember when video games were just games to entertain you, the player, you and your friends, when things were fun? Like when Halo 2 came out, where we were blissfully ignorant of all the behind-the-scenes BS. Well, now you can't. And I really hearken back in the days. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm ready to toss out all this stuff, not to mention the fact that all modern games are all tracking you. They all literally are interfaced in so many elements of their, behind-the-scenes monetizations that really does not bring anything to your entertainment at all. In fact, your entertainment is literally ancillary to their focus and goals. So you know what? I just literally want to get the best emulator out there and play all the old school games that when you play them, you're just playing them.
Yeah,
that's all they are.
We've got a lot of old games. We've also got a lot of games that aren't AAA games, that aren't games as a service, that aren't, that aren't what AAA games at the level that Bungie has been trying to make them.
Yeah, because in my opinion, a lot of the focus is off. The latest big thing is 343 renaming themselves to Halo Studios. Don't see how that helps. And changing to UT5, which will help them behind the scenes, but their focus on, hey, let's make Halo even more graphical. I'm sorry, Halo never needed to be super graphical. It needed to be fun. So if you were focusing this much on fun, that would be a good thing.
Yeah, I can kind of, it's kind of pointless, but I can also see why they make a decision like that, where you've now had multiple Halo games where 343 Spark is not a character in them and is not referenced. So they don't know what, if you came into Halo at Halo 4, then you don't know what 343 is or why it's called that.
Yeah,
and so it might be better to be
literally
and
just
say,
showcases
we are the studio what make Halo. So
well,
I get that.
They literally just shot themselves in the foot with an identity where nobody knows who or what 343 is. That's literally, and for all these years, people still don't know who they are. Their corporate identity is not of the same that Bungie is. Everybody knows Bungie. Bungie has made tons of games over many, many years. They've cultivated a fan base that has lasted literally decades. They're a known quantity. They know that Bungie made Halo. And when Halo 3 and 4, and they shipped it off after 3 to another company, that didn't have the same type of impact that Bungie as a corporate identity had. So I think they said, you know what? Let's just pack it in and call it Halo, because that's the name that everyone recognizes.
Zumfrey makes a point that they no longer occupy the building at 434 Kirkland, which was always that joke there, right? They're 343 and 434, and they're not there anymore either. I mean, they've moved multiple times since then anyway. Who knows? They may have
what it is.
Maybe they'll be forced to move to Japan next. Who knows?
Well, it's funny because they're showcasing how the whole graphical interface and how they're showing, look all the stuff we can do with UT5, and they showed all these cool things and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, it's great. That's pretty. But that doesn't translate into fun with friends. You know what I mean? That core 30 seconds that they talked about, that they absolutely nailed in the first 3 iterations. They need to get that back. And to be honest, I saw the new model of the Master Chief that they were doing. To me,
I don't want to argue
does not
about
he
that.
look like a does he not look like a plastic toy? He literally looks like an action figure.
I don't want to.
Doesn't even look like he's real.
I don't want to talk about how many divots are on his gloves. I don't want to.
No. I'm just saying it from a quality perspective. They're saying that the UT5 is going to make this look better than it ever has been before, and I'm sorry, he looks plastic. I don't see that as an improvement based on the older ones. If you could do a compare and contrast, I could do it. But it just means that their focus is off to what it should be. They're focusing on pretty when they should be focusing on fun.
I could possibly be tempted to be interested if it turns out one of the rumors is true. Because remember, when they did the whole Master Chief Collection, it did Halo Anniversary and Halo 2 Anniversary. Jeremy Bryce in the chat. Hi, Jeremy.
Wow, everyone's coming out of the woodwork.
Was the rumor that they were going to do something reissuing the games, right? They're going to remake or remaster, and they end up, it's Golfer. That's Golfer.
Yeah, don't you remember?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember Golfer?
No, I remember Golfer, but I don't remember that name. As,
Jeremy? Yes, Jeremy is Golfer. Golfer's Jeremy.
Okay. And what they did was that they just put a new graphical layer made by Saber Interactive on top of Halo 1. Because they didn't want to touch the gameplay of Halo 1, and because it's easier to do that than it is to remake Halo 1. If they're going to switch engines, and which means they're going to have to pump a lot of assets that went into the Halo engine into Unreal Engine, then the way I figure it, they might as well remake Halo 1 in Unreal. That I could be tempted to be interested. I don't know. And I would also like them to see, like, given that they switched up the sandbox so much in terms of, like, we have vehicles, but what vehicles? What vehicles can you drive? What vehicles can you not drive? Are vehicles destructible? Are they not? What are the weapons like? Is the primary weapon your pistol and everything else is an also ran, or is the BR your go-to weapon and the pistol is really a sidearm? Do we have dual wielding? Do we not? Do we have vehicle boarding? Do we not? I would like to see them kind of pick a definitive Halo sandbox and do all your story scenarios in that same sandbox than what we got. It's understandable why it was done the way it was done, right? That the engine, the toolbox, the sandbox, and the story are all evolving together as Bungie makes these games in real time. But it'd be nice if we settled on something that said the definitive Halo experience is something like mostly Halo 3, but also some stuff that's in Halo Reach. And that's the engine, and you're going to make that in the Unreal Engine and recreate the scenarios. I could be tempted to be interested in that theoretically.
So basically what you think is like, hey, let's pick a sandbox of a graphical representation of the Halo universe. And under that umbrella, we have all the titles.
Yeah.
And therefore you're consistent across the entire board.
I would like a consistent art style. And again, I understand why across Halo 1, 2, 3, we don't have that. And then when you add in the
because they changed
MCC
consoles,
remakes,
they changed so much.
You also don't have that. And that's why for me, the high point of the art style is really Halo 3. And it doesn't even really need a remake.
They changed physics with Havoc. I mean, there was all kinds of behind the scenes.
But I'd be more interested in just seeing decisions like, all the vehicles in there should be drivable. All the vehicles in there should be boardable. They should either all be destructible or not. They should be consistent in their state in terms of can they be destroyed when you're driving them?
Yeah.
Or
it
not.
makes me wonder though, if you're bringing in all the reiterations of advancements throughout Halo 2 and 3 back to 1, is it going to break a lot of things in 1 though? I'm wondering
you're going to have to
work.
Those encounters and some of the spaces I think would have to be redesigned to take into account all the things that are in the sandbox. But that's the design work. That's what I'm saying is redesign.
I wonder if they would consider it retreading if it's a reduplication of work. It's like, why? Yeah. I'm wondering if they would think there would be money in it.
It should be accurate to the way Halo made you feel playing it, not accurate to the way Halo actually was when you played it.
Right. So you want a Halo universe.
Yeah.
And you just want it consistent. That I can see. That makes sense.
Like I could theoretically be tempted to go back and look again. I actually did while I was bedridden. I replayed Halo 1 through 3 at normal.
Oh wow.
Which is a come down.
You didn't do legendary?
No, but I don't normally go for legendary. Like usually I went for heroic because that was a good compromise between having some challenge and not beating your head against the wall. But I found myself.
You didn't want to go through the library on legendary.
I found myself dying at normal more than I'm comfortable with having, with doing. And I think part of it is just that, like, you need to take cover in places where Destiny has trained you to just hang out, keep pushing forward, doing whatever you want. And you never,
splash damage.
Except, you're never really in danger in Destiny except at the highest levels of difficulty in raids and challenge modes that kind
Destiny ruined you. Oh, that's awesome. I would think with the consistent flat movement and low jump, height and whatever else, and no butt slides and all the other fun stuff and whatnot, and flying through the air. That it would be a little much of a challenge as far as your normal combat experience. So that's funny.
Okay.
But man, we got to say hi to all the people coming out of the woodwork for this. It's like, oh my God, between Funkmon and Golfer and Jilly. Oh my God, Jilly.
Yes. Thank everybody,
and Zumpty Dumpty and Desmond. And,
thank you to everybody who came back to say hi and chat, to come and watch, even if it's only for a few minutes.
Merry Christmas.
We were
Happy
joking
New Year,
before
everyone.
this that maybe no one will show up because we have been
oh God,
gone
yeah,
for
we would.
months, and and I wouldn't even blame anybody if that would be the case, right? Like that just happens.
Nope. Life's too busy.
Yeah.
Everybody's moved on and doing other things. So I'm amazed at everyone that came out to say hi. That's great.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, and John Sabino, you got to thank John. And of course, oh geez, man, all the old skill guys, and Leah came out, and who else? Funk, you chat too much.
So we will come back hopefully.
EJ,
hopefully in the
Jail,
near future to
Decca.
finish Pathways.
Yeah. Zale Mannixon, even did Zale come out? I guess
Yes,
Zale in there.
Zale was here. He said he couldn't stay, but he
had to bail.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will chat this one afterwards. So yes. So Pathways, when do you want to finish Pathways?
We'll see. Like I'll be back to work sometime in January. I think what I really want to do is that I want to get back to a normal work schedule where I know I can do everything I need to do at work, and have it so that like this isn't a huge chore of like, oh wow, I really wish I'd have this day to rest. I've got to get back to a level where I can do this for one day and not feel like it's killing me.
I just want to make sure that nothing we do is going to complicate your recovery. That to me would be priority one.
It shouldn't. I mean, like I am like before, it was really impossible because I was basically lying down all the time. And like there was one day where I kind of got bored and I tried to play some Destiny and I made myself motion sick.
But
I'm now where it's like I am sitting up now, all through the day. I am taking painkillers only minimally. I've got a normal caffeine intake, and I am mobile enough to be able to get around. Oh, Funk says Jail and Funk had a barbecue last week. Awesome.
Sweet.
So
before or after the wedding?
Yeah. All I want to do now is make sure that once I'm back to my regular workload, that it's still sustainable to take a few hours on Saturday to do this, and then to figure out kind of a new framing device for how we're going to choose the things we're going to do. I also may be dialing back the production values a little bit.
Yeah, we may get a little more
the shows a little bit less complicated. Probably not going to be too much. Probably what it really means is that that middle phase where I show a countdown before, and then I do a trailer, and then we do the intro. I'm probably going to cut that middle bit out.
We may get
the trailers.
less fancy. We may get
a little less fancy,
pretentious.
Yeah, because I got to admit, I have successfully transferred a lot of the things that we started doing on this show to stuff I do at work now. But now continuing to try to do them here is just like doing more work.
It's like work.
It makes it like work. So.
Oh my God, it never ends.
I may try to make it a little more casual, or to make those bits experimental bits where the fun is, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but that's fine.
Anyway, we'll try something. So we'll let you know when we have definites, keep an eye on the calendar or post notifications or what have you. Funk says, yeah, technical difficulties have been part of the identity of the channel. Absolutely. I still want to do the t-shirts, come for the IP, stay for the IT. And Amber says, yeah, whatever works for you. Well, thank you. We certainly appreciate it. We've always tried to maintain the level of quality in this and whatnot. Narc, as said before, because we used to do this post-production, we used to literally record the footage, upload it to Kazakhstan, and you would have to cut this shit.
Yeah.
And it basically got to the point, it's like, hey, there's no reason why we can't do a live TV show production where soup to nuts, it looks just as good as one of those things. And we've tried to do that for the past 10 years, but at the same time, it's like...
And like
it's
streamers,
a little too much work.
Streamers way bigger than us will literally just sit down, hit a button, and ask the stream, "Can you hear me?" And then just go.
No level of professionalism whatsoever.
And I don't think we're going to dial down that far, but we can we can try to do a little less.
Yep.
Bob Robertson's chat.
So
Hey, Bob.
any less overhead or work. Oh, Bob Robertson's chat.
Bob's
Hi,
like,
Bob.
Work you. I tried work once, didn't work out. Too much like work.
Me neither. Yeah, seriously, not a fan. When I had the opportunity to make about 60 to 70% of our paycheck at literally 95% less work, that's a no-brainer. So as far as our futures and stuff, yeah, we may have a little less production, hoops to jump through and whatnot, but we're still us. So we're hoping that for whatever we do in the future, which again, amid recovery, amid other responsibilities, as well as other medical things with family and whatnot and everything, we will do our best at. But at the same time, it's like you may see a dip in what you've seen prior. And that may or may not affect or even bother you at all. And if that's the case, great. But we're definitely happy for everybody that shows up and enjoys what we do. So thank you very much for that.
Show complexity. The idea that there'll be a fewer buttons to click to make the magic happen is the idea.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. And that's, to be honest, it's something I've wanted for forever. But Narc has this high levels of standards and he loves thinking of all the potentials of what I can do. Look, I can do 53 things by pushing this one button.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of that automation gets done at work now. And so now that I have that area to play around with that automation, I don't need to be doing it here as well. Like, the stuff we've proven we can do, we can stop doing because we're not trying to show off for that stuff.
And if we wanted to really show off and everything, we'd be doing a lot more pre-production work anyway, which we're not.
Yeah, but that doubles the time because you need to play the game and then you need to edit it. It's easily twice as much time. Yeah. We just don't have it.
It's the reason I haven't done Control yet, to tell you the truth. I'm literally in a perfection paralysis of trying to I want it to be just like this and just like this and just like this. I want the experience to be perfect. And I end up not doing anything with it. So, but hopefully, in the future, we'll be doing something a lot more cash. Don't know how regular it's going to be. It's going to be hit or miss. It's going to be tongue in cheek. It's going to be when we can, and not sticking any super schedules just yet because Narc's still in recovery. But anything you want to say before we bail? Because we're already like a half hour over. Yeah. We were only going to go for
that 2. Was it. That was basically all I wanted to do today. And this extra stuff here was because of bonus. Because like I said, this other content was only hit the net yesterday. And so I barely had any time to look at it myself.
Hey, hopefully nobody else did either. And we got the world exclusive, man. Because that sounds freaking awesome.
Somebody must have. Like I was watching my YouTube.
And we found the Rex.
I was watching my YouTube subscriptions yesterday and today for people who I know do Bungie and Halo content. Didn't see anything. I'm sure somebody must have seen this thing, but
maybe not. Until somebody proves it, that somebody's got like a date and a timestamp saying that they have the Rex up before we did today.
We'll find out when we get.
Well, technically Wednesday. We actually had it the Wednesday before this is where I first saw it. But now, technically, could you tell everybody I'm the one who saw it first? You had the demo and you played it and you didn't see it.
Nope. Yeah, I didn't see it the first time. Yeah. Didn't see
That's
it.
right. Blackstar, he found the Rex. So anyway, well, thanks everyone for tuning in. What's fucking saying? Because the effect is, live archive streams are indistinguishable from pre-recorded videos. Well, thank you.
That was always the objective. That was always the target. And the reason why we bothered with a lot of the automations and a lot of the transitions was so that it would look that way.
Yeah. It says that if we drop the bells and whistles and whatnot, it still looked like that. Hopefully. I mean, basically, if we bookend things with a 5-minute, break in between, that should be more than enough. And hopefully, the less work we have to do in it, the more likely we'll be willing to do this and have more fun doing it. Because sadly, and we were talking about this before, it really comes down to the games. And Destiny and Lorien stuff, they've always been kind of core things with us, and we did those long-term forever, and now we're done with them. So it's like we don't have those core things to fall back on, and there's really not any huge titles that are jumping out as saying, oh my God, I have to play that. There really hasn't been, and that's kind of sad. So we've all been fumbling around saying, hey, what do we do? What do we do?
For the next 3 years.
Yeah, there's no diehard thing that I'm saying, I am playing this for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And until we do, I mean, we're just kind of free to be able to pick out what we want. That also means now we have all these things to pick. Great. What do we want to play now? So we're kind of in game choice limbo. So until until we can figure out exactly what we're going to do with that. We may have to play it by ear. So, okay, Narc, anything else before you want to bail?
Nope, that's it. So
okay,
we'll see everybody when you see you, and
bye everybody.
Hopefully soon. Bye.
And listen, everyone, hopefully have a safe holiday and a happy new year. Stay safe out there, okay?
Yeah, happy holidays,
Catch you next
everybody,
time.
and thanks again for dropping by.
Bye.
It took 2 in the nose, then dropped into the atmosphere.
Who was first contact?
405th out of Diego Garcia. But don't expect a big welcome. Covenant wiped most of them out before they hit the ground.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon.
It's your call, Sergeant.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
Covenant ground forces own this city. We'll need to deal with them before we can kill that cruiser.
Pile out! Go, go, go!
Bet you can't stick it, Master Chief.